made in Wisconsin, in Janesville, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had lost count. I had over 500 pens at one point of time. They're all over my bedroom, in my study and all that. And then, of course, I had my stroke and I thought I would die. And so I liquidated my, so now I only have about 20 pens. And since 2010, since I had my first stroke, I have not purchased one single pen. All I've done is buy ink.
Oh. How are you doing with typewriters?
Typewriters, I did not buy a single one. I got 3 of them only, and I've absolutely tried to not buy a single one. So I have these 3, one Olympia SF, one Olympia SM9 from the mid 60s, and one 1964 Olivetti letter 32 that was given to me by my professor. And the Olympias I got from one of our elderly neighbors who was a retired professor in the engineering school. When he passed away, his sons gave those to me because we'd been friends. I would show up at his house, which is about 3 doors down from our home. I would show up with my French press and some ground coffee, and then we'd make the coffee, and him, his wife, and me would sit down and in the back patio and enjoy the coffee and talk about things. And he was an old man in his 90s when I met him. We just got to be friends. So when he passed away, his son just gave me the typewriters.
Nice.
So that's how I've gotten my typewriters. And I've just stayed at 3, and I have been tempted many a times to get more, but I have managed to sort of control my urge to get another one.
Well, I got an arrangement with a dealer up in Minneapolis, Katie. She sells units. So I brought her 6 of my typewriters, and she gave me like a dozen to work on. So
wow.
Kind of
Wow.
a bunch of Royals. I'm afraid they're all going to skip, but I haven't got. There was a nice Royal 10, and I really, I said, gee, you want to trade? I could bring this Royal 10 back because it's just a beautiful, unit. And she said, no, I like polishing. So I got it working, and she's going to polish it up and make the big money. But I mean, it takes a long time to really do that.
Yeah.
But I also got my Bluebird, flew in from the UK, which is just, and so that I think I like Olympias, but they're a little flimsy, and the Torpedo 18 is just, I just love it. So the Bluebird is a rebranding of the Torpedo.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Yeah, they didn't, post World War II, they didn't want to send torpedoes from Germany to Britain.
Yes.
So they made the Bluebird instead.
That's funny.
But it's exactly the same as the Torpedo 18.
Excellent. Eric, how are you?
How are you? How's everybody doing?
Very
Hello.
good. Very good.
Eric, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Have a little bit of a frog in my throat here.
Yeah, I'm starting to get same thing, allergies.
Yeah, that's what it is for me.
Well, I have kind of bad news too, because in a month I'll be all vaccinated and everything, and so I'll be going back to my church thing.
Oh, okay.
So I'll only see you when church doesn't meet, like, probably, well, Memorial Day, but, off and on they don't. But I'll watch you on YouTube.
Oh,
I'll
Yeah,
keep up.
you will definitely be missed. Definitely.
I'm supposed to be at church right now on the church Zoom meeting.
I feel guilty now.
No, don't feel guilty at all. I'm in the process of transitioning out of my church. Yeah, I'm an Indian guy who happens to be a Mormon, which is a very a combination that people don't usually see. So I'm in the process of transitioning out from the Mormon church. So I'd rather be here with my type pals.
Oh,
We,
well,
we
you're
worship
most
at
welcome here.
we worship at the altar of Right Reverend Ted Monk.
Yes, yes.
He's the head. He's the archbishop of our church.
Yeah.
In the cult of Hermes.
Yeah, and yeah, I've never gotten into the cult of Hermes, but maybe I should give it a try. But on the other hand, being that I'm in a cult right now, I don't think that's a good idea.
You know, there might have actually been a cult of Hermes back in the days of ancient Greece. I don't really know, or maybe
There,
ancient Rome.
there actually was, because yesterday I was listening to a guy on NPR. He was talking about certain things from ancient Greek, and he talked
Uh,
about the Hermes and the cult behind it.
Not the same thing as the cult of Diana, apparently, but we won't go there.
Oh, I almost forgot too. That I forget who it was showed an Erica that she had picked up, and I said that I had taken a pass on that unit because you can't buy them all.
Yeah.
So I went back and I bought it. And
Ah.
it is.
Of course, of course.
Well, the counterpoint to you can't buy them all is you can certainly try. You can try to buy them.
Well, it just, it was quartz instead of QWERTY,
Yeah.
and I don't generally buy those, but it was pretty. I can show it to you, but it's got a very interesting keyboard too. I think it's unique, but yeah, she made me rethink that. So I'm just overflowing in new stuff around here. It's like too many projects at once.
Well, I do want to welcome a new face, Brandi Lee.
Hello, Brandi.
How are
Hey,
you?
Brandi Lee.
You might know me as Brandi B. Honey on Instagram or
yes.
Reddit.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Very good. Well, thank you for joining us. Did you just want to give just a brief introduction to yourself?
Sure. So I began my typewriter journey November of last year with an Olympia SM2. Beautiful, beautiful machine. My daughter has since adopted it. I now have 9 machines. My latest is a Royal Arrow, but when you hear those words, I'm sure you're thinking, like a 1940s, but this is actually the 1970s ultra portable that looks exactly like a Royal Mercury.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Is it made by Silver Seiko of Japan?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
Those are pretty good machines. It's one of my favorite ultra portables.
I love it, and Joe, I really have you to blame for this because I was looking for an ultra portable, and when I saw this, I thought Joe would get this.
What would Joe?
How do you like it? Yeah, what would Joe do?
WWJD.
It sounds like another cult to me.
The cult of Joe.
It is. It's cult of Joe.
I
So
love it. I was pleasantly surprised by how it's got great alignment. I really like the type quality, and it's just kind of pretty to look at. I just lost my AirPod.
Uh-oh.
Okay. And the seller actually did a custom paint job on it. So the ribbon, in fact, I can just kind of pop it and show you. It's red.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is this from Colombo, Jennifer Colombo, that you got the machine?
No, it's actually Lazy Dog Typewriters.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So-
we actually lived close to each other, so I went and picked it up.
Oh, excellent.
And yeah, and that's the first time second time I'd been able to pick up a typewriter instead of have it shipped.
So what do you think of the touch, the feel of the keys? Is it pretty easy to type on?
Yes, I really, really do like them.
That's been my experience, like comparing Silver Seiko machines to Brother machines. I think the Brothers are consistently heavier of a touch, and it's hard to make them lighter. Like I had a Webster 747, and I even went to the trouble of disconnecting the spring tension on the universal bar completely, and it still wasn't light enough of a touch. It's just sort of intrinsically heavier, but it seems like the Silver Seikos are a lot lighter, or at least noticeably lighter, you know?
Agreed. So I have, I have machines ranging from I've got two Olympias, Olivetti, the Smith Corona Silent Super, Remington, Quiet Rider, and then several Smith Corona electrics.
Nice.
And I rarely hear about the SM2. That's very
really.
I can't even picture it in my mind, actually.
Well, maybe.
Well, I can.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Brandi.
I was just gonna say I can show it to you. If
That
you
would be
want to
great,
talk,
yeah,
I'll move the
definitely.
camera.
Well, I think the SM2s they're sort of rare. SM3s, SM7s, and SM9s are a lot more. I think there are a lot more available, so therefore there's lots of them in the used market.
Okay.
Mine is actually, it came from the UK. I'm gonna have to, there we go, we're close. And it does have a UK keyboard. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful machine.
It really is. It's flawless. It looks as good in person as it does on camera.
It's interesting having the Olympia badge back there on the paper table.
It is, because if you look at my, and hopefully I'm not showing you too much junk in my office here. If you look at my my Olympia SM3, oops, where'd it go? There we go. It's in the front.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I usually see. So that was the first thing that caught my eye, was the fact that the Olympia badge was on the paper table. Yeah.
And it's very large compared, like it's twice the size of the one on the SM3.
Okay. It did seem large, actually. Well, thank you so much for showing that. Now I can put a face to a name. So yeah.
Can I show my SM3 project I just
Yeah,
finished?
definitely. We
Let's
love
see.
to see typewriters.
All righty, this is the perfect case.
I love those cases. They're just wow.
And it's a
Oh.
script machine.
Oh my goodness.
Good heavens, it's a beauty.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is. That is gorgeous.
Is that the original color, or have you?
I repainted in the original color, like I matched the original color, but
Oh wow.
it had dings and stuff up here, so I had
Okay.
it sandblasted, and then redid it. But I'm going to give it to my daughter, who's kind of enamored with the script.
Very nice.
And they do, I mean, my SM3 is also script, and the script is perfect.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Wow. That thing is
But
beautiful.
that took a lot of time. I mean, doing repainting on that to make it
Yeah.
look great is. I made a few mistakes, had to redo it, you know. But maybe next time I'll be better at it. So
Yeah. Excellent.
There's a guy in town who specializes in restoring and thing of old BMW motorcycles, and he was looking at my SF, and he told me, why don't you, before you get it fixed up, give me the typewriter, and then I'll kind of use the whatever we used to paint motorcycles and paint it in any funky color you like. So I've been thinking of getting it painted in the same color that Lynn just showed on her SM3.
Excellent.
You could get flames.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very true.
Hello, Brian. Hello, Bob.
Yep.
We
Good
have
morning.
Another
Good morning.
new person joining us as well. How are you, Bob?
Oh, it's nice to sit and do nothing. I don't know what happened, but I cruised out to Albuquerque and hung out with my buddy Joe, and that was just way too much excitement for me.
Are you still getting over that? You're still recuperating?
I'm still getting over that. And I thank my lucky stars, maybe that I wasn't smoking cigars with Joe, but maybe I wish I would have. That was.
See, that's what I pictured in my mind. I imagined you sharing cigars. So
Not sharing, smoking.
Yeah, not sharing.
okay.
You walked into that one, my friend. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, it was a great time hanging out with Joe and all the behind the scenes. You would all be extremely impressed with Joe, with how Joe brings us all the information that he does, and that was fun. Hung out there.
That's what I pictured in my mind. I imagined you sharing cigars.
Somebody left their YouTube.
I think you have an echo, Natasha.
She's like, darn it, I'm that one. It happens to the best of us. But let me think. Then I cruised to Flagstaff that night, got a nice little nap, woke up, went on down, visited Mr. Jensen. So that was a lot of fun. He's got a great setup, and he was full of information and extremely hospitable. It's very neat to see how clean a shop can be. And boy, Dwayne Jensen just has a clean shop and has it all organized, and all his parts are where he can find them. It was a little off. It was a little strange for myself. I was definitely envious. So definitely something to look up to in that regard. And I think that's why it's easy. I don't have guilt now when I message him and say, hey, do you have this part? Because he'll know exactly where it is. He's extremely well organized.
Wow.
In all that he does, and his setup is very nice. And so that's a lot of fun. It's great to. I know I've referred a few people to him to purchase typewriters, and he has a nice setup where he is. So good for him. And then I hopped over and visited Bill Wall with Typewriter. Yeah, and boy, Bill was just full of information as well, and showed me all his back rooms, and that was a lot of fun because he said I don't really. He just has piles of parts machines. So I took pictures of all the piles. So that way, when I need something, I can tell him, oh, third shelf on the right, grab that typewriter, pull this part out of it for me. So,
yeah, Bill is great people. He really is. He's fantastic.
And I could have spent all day there with him. And I need to do that sometime. And then I thought, well, maybe I could stop and visit Monk. But when I visit Monk, it really needs to be a retreat. I think Monk where we all hang out for the weekend on our
Yeah.
typewriters. And
You know what's funny about Monk and Bill Wall is they know each other very well. And in fact, a lot of the early manuals that Ted got was from the stash that Bill has in the back of his shop. And when I go visit them, we all go out to lunch together. We kind of hang out. They're good friends, so it's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Well, I couldn't believe. Listen, I'm going to call Bill out. He was the funniest. He's like, when I go home, I don't think about typewriters. I don't live, eat, and breathe typewriters. You guys are the ones who keep the passion alive. But let me show you this great typewriter I have, and let me show you this one, and let me show you this one.
Right.
And it's like, you don't collect them, but he's like, oh no, I don't collect them. But let me show you this one, and let me show you that one.
Here's the other funny thing. I went over there once with my friend Kevin, right? We went over to Arizona, visited Bill, and Kevin wanted to buy some old machines out of Bill's shop, and Bill was saying exactly that. I'm not a collector of typewriters, but I'm not selling this one.
That isn't how it works, Bill.
I know.
I love
That's
it.
funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. I'll tell you the most inspirational story I can share regarding the whole weekend was sitting there visiting with Bill, and this young man walks in and he says, hey, I need a typewriter. And Bill goes, okay, we'll try this one, try that one, try that. What are you thinking in price? Okay, try this one. And the guy goes, I'll take this one. And I start chatting with the dude, and obviously he rides motorcycles similar to myself. So we connected, and we've had these great chats of how it's okay to type on typewriters while riding motorcycles. And he's posted these great stream of conscious essays on his experience in riding motorcycles, his experience in life. And he said he was just down the street and looked up. He couldn't believe he found a typewriter shop down the street where he was in Mesa. And there was Bill, and Bill had him in and out in 10 minutes. I mean, it was so neat to see how that's done, because we don't get to see that anymore these days. It's a much more complicated process. So that was a lot of fun. All last week I was on call. I ended up doing like an extra 33 hours of work in the week, on top of selling my typewriter covers. I actually sold out, so I have to make some more.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all. Bob, that was absolutely brilliant.
I wish you would have told me. I was very surprised. It was 2 a.m. and I was still packaging these up to ship.
Nice.
My daughter, my son, everyone came in, and we're sitting there packaging these things up. And honestly, the delicate of that is I have to do them in the house. I had hands touch them that don't smoke, so there's no cigarette smell on them, because they're extremely absorbent in that regard. They're that soft jewel. But they did very well. So I think I have a handful left, and I took a handful to LA yesterday, and those, as soon as I got there, everyone grabbed them, and they were sold. So
nice.
That was a little bit of fun. So that's been extremely rewarding. I'm glad that the hard thing with those was getting the size. I had to custom order the size. I had to get them custom cut and whatnot.
Yeah.
Can you show us what that looks like? I don't remember seeing that.
Oh, I apologize. I don't have one out here with me. I'm out in my shop. I keep them in the house where I don't smoke. Right. I don't want them to smell like. I know some people can be real sensitive to that, so I'm working real hard on that. I'll have to put another post up on the Facebook groups and whatnot. But yeah, it's just a typewriter dust cover. The product itself is on eBay right now. It's under my shop with Typewriter Muse.
Oh, okay.
Find it at typewritermuse.com. Thank you very much for asking, Lynn. I apologize, I don't have an example out here. I did, so I went to LA yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. Typewriter Connection, my good friend Aaron. Aaron and I get to exchange a lot of typewriters. I've repaired a few things for him. He's got a wonderful little sales. It's kind of more like a maker space, a place where he sells typewriters, and he's actually selling quite a bit and doing real well with it. So I'm really excited to always get to hang out with him. A few of the other guys were there that were in the groups. Our buddy Mel, I've bought a lot of typewriters from Mel, so We have a lot of fun with it. So that's been my busy week.
There it
Oh, look
is.
at that.
There it
Okay.
is.
Gregory, thank you, Gregory.
So it kind of looks like terry cloth. Is that right? It's kind of a terry
Well,
cloth.
it's nothing like terry cloth. It's
Oh, okay.
about 8 times as thick, and it's a soft jewel cloth. I'll have to get a good side perspective. I mean, it's absolutely no scratch. Because I've tried terry, and I was real worried terry would scratch the surface on like a glossy Voss or something.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
Bob, how do you know that covers for a typewriter?
I'm making an educated guess.
Yeah, okay.
You
That's a
should
good
really label it or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Gregory.
I know. I think my next screen I might actually put. I thought about getting a rubber stamp and actually putting Typewriter Muse like on the inside corner or something where it doesn't stand out like the 4th of July. I didn't want it to be about my name brand, and I think that's the problem sometimes when you purchase things. It's about name brand.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Yeah.
like that. A lot of people like that. I might make a much larger one for an IBM Selectric, and I don't think I can write IBM on it, but who knows? So yeah, that's really been extremely rewarding. And I think I made 70 of them, but
Wow.
I ended up keeping 10 of them, so I only had like 60 for sale. But yeah, I sold all those last week.
That's
Well,
excellent.
looks like the next time you have stuff, I'll have to get two, one for my SF and one for my SM9.
See, I appreciate you saying that because I sell them in 2-packs, and I do that
Yes.
because of shipping. Shipping's $3 no matter
Right.
what. So
Okay.
I sell them in 2-packs, thinking, well, most people probably, and I've had a few people who order a few $100s worth. You know, they order 10 or 20 of them. You know, and you're like, okay, that's great. They're covering their collection, I guess.
So Bob, are these kind of like they're not fitted? They're just like they drape over the machine, or they yeah. So they work for a lot of different styles of shapes of machines. That's good.
That's really what's brilliant about it.
Yeah.
Because you
Well,
don't
I
worry
was
about it being baggy or anything like that. You know, it just fits. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
And I guess you could tuck it under the sides if you needed to, right? Yeah.
Yeah, if you had an ultra portable, and Gregory's been to my house, all my machines are covered in all my the kitchen towels. I no longer have kitchen towels; they're covering all my machines, and that's where I came up with this. Where what would be the perfect size towel? Can I get someone to make it for me? Then screen print it.
You wanted to be able to use your kitchen towels again, so you had to make something.
I can, yeah. I did not have to go buy new ones, but anytime I bought new ones, I would just use them for typewriters. No, that's been a lot of fun. I have been fortunate enough too to have a few customers stop by, and that was nice. I reset up my living room, dining room, the front area of my house, as well as my porch, for typewriter repair, typewriter sales. It's great to have people in the house able to look at different typewriters they want to purchase, and I'll set like 6 machines around my dining room table. Feel free to try out different machines. So it's very exciting. Can it be done? Are people comfortable with coming to a private residence? My private residence is right next to a lot of commercialization because I'm in such an old part. And I think too, a lot of people are excited to be in an old part of Riverside. I think maybe, I don't know. I live in the swanky area of Riverside, not on purpose. I didn't buy here. I was born here. So I have to remind you that. So that's been very rewarding as well. And I think, I don't know. I mean, there's a few of us. Sean, do you have customers over to your house?
Good morning. Yeah, all the time. All the time. Yeah. I mean, it just works out that way. I mean, sometimes you have to make a bit of a trip to go meet somebody halfway, depending on their situation. But for the most part, it's just easier to have them come over and look at typewriters, because I generally do the same as you, Bob. I show them 2 or 3, even though they came over for one in particular, because I want to make sure people are making the right choice and getting something that works for them or their family or whoever they're buying it for. So they need to test them out, and I want them to, even though some people just want to grab and go. I want to go through it and show them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. There's a lot of art in that. It's no different than being on a sales floor. As I mentioned, I did guitar and amp repair for a long time. And how do you make sure people are comfortable in your house? Because my house is obviously my house. It's in the middle of the street, et cetera, et cetera. But there, there's enough parking and people are comfortable, and they seem to be responding well to it. Even my buddy Aaron out in LA was telling me a bit of a story where he kind of had a weird guy stop by. And so how do you do that? And he's by appointment only as well in his, I would call it a makerspace shop. It's very eclectic. It's right in the downtown art district. It's wonderful. We're set up right now. We're setting up to do some tie pins this summer. He's got a big common space there. So we're going to have several thousand square feet where we can set up in LA, downtown LA art district. People can sell and move typewriters. We'll have a workshop or two. I think we're going to call it something clever like, hot typewriter nights or something like that. We'll see how that works out. It's very exciting to see how different people can use space. And it was wonderful to see, as I mentioned, Bill, sell this young man a machine, how he did it, how he went through it, how relaxed he was about it. And I remember the guy even, he goes, well, I've got X amount cash. Can you do X amount on credit card as well? And Bill's like, yeah, absolutely. Here, let's make the transaction happen. Because the man bought $200 worth of machine, or maybe it was $175 worth of machine. I suspect maybe he thought he could get in and out for 120. And then I told him later, I said, well, that's a really great machine. I would have sold it to you for 200. So I think you did really well. Bill gave you quite the deal,
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting. But I'm very busy today. I'm setting up. I'm trying very hard not to wash typewriters in my kitchen sink anymore. I'm setting up an outside hopper sink, big hopper sink where I can wash everything there, and I can do the air and the water. It won't be hot water, but I'm hoping the chemical will make up for it, or I'll bring in hot water from the hot water heater one way.
Are you going to use a rubber ducky?
Oh yeah, the rubber ducky's staying. Rubber ducky's not going anywhere. It was really neat to see how Bill went from chemical cleaning, 20 years ago, and the last, 20 years he's been using water, just pressurized water. So he has a small fitting that he made. So I'm going to make one of those today. I think I can make it all happen today. But the idea is air compressor, air pressure behind hot water. And you do that with the right type of citrus degreaser, and it does wonderful. You can look around Bill's shop. These machines are gorgeous. And this is how he's doing it without heavy chemical. So that's pretty exciting to think about.
Yeah. Well,
when you get, sorry, Gregory.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Bob, when you get that set up, do a series of little posts on Instagram. I'd love to see your little process and your nozzle and how that works out.
Yeah, will do. It'll all be outside and kind of janky together, but I think it's nice to stand outside in the nice riverside weather, and it gives you a good way to dry the typewriters when you're done.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, I do have to welcome a new face, Matthew Chavin. Is that right? Oh, we might not have sound.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Just so
Matthew.
happens I'm writing a letter to you right now, Matthew.
Oh.
Oh.
Excellent. Since you're new, did you just want to do just a brief little introduction about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So I actually got into typewriters last fall. My husband's doing his PhD and had talked about wanting to write his dissertation on a typewriter. And we live in New York City. So I went up to Gramercy Typewriters with him, and we looked at a few of the machines there. And then came back. I was walking around the neighborhood and came across a box, and I'm like, I think I know what that is. And as I got closer to it, the box looked like it was in pretty good condition. And in New York City, we just throw our trash like on the side of the street to be picked up. I've never seen anything like it in any other part of the country. And so this typewriter was just sitting along with all of the trash. And you're always kind of leery to look in whatever that is because you don't know what you're going to find. But I found a 1957 Remington, perfect working condition inside. So that was my first typewriter. And then from there, I've now got, I think, 11 since last September.
Wow.
The 11th one is actually the one that my husband wants. Not quite in working condition. I got it from Shop Goodwill. But that'll be the one that I try to fix and see what I can do on it. Pretty good condition, just a little bit of something to do. But I've also got an IBM Selectric. I've got an Aztec 14. I got a 1941 Royal that a 16-year-old girl bought from Macy's on 34th Street for high school.
Wow.
Original paperwork and everything with it. She got it for $50. Perfect condition. It looks like it's never been typed on. It's never been restored. Everything's, I mean, absolutely perfect on it. I just got a Hermes 3000. Yeah, so quite a collection here. Several Smith Coronas. I feel like I gravitate towards Smith Coronas. But yeah.
Excellent. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So I have two follow-up questions.
Sure.
The Remington, is that a quiet writer?
It's a letter writer.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And the Royal,
it has all 5 tabs in it. It has all 5 tabs in it too, which really surprised me that it was in the garbage and all the tabs and everything are there.
Amazing.
And you
so
were
my
saying
second
something about the
question
Royal?
on the Royal, is that a varsity or some other model?
I don't think it's the varsity. Hang on, let me pull it out and I'll show you. If I can get to it.
And while you're pulling, I got a 1939 Royal Varsity from Goodwill. It's my
Nice.
only non-working typewriter, so it needs some TLC.
Well, the Right Reverend Ted Monk has joined us.
Yeah.
Hello,
Welcome
everybody.
back.
Hello, Ted.
How are
I'm
you?
here.
Yeah.
Despite the early hour. You guys all wake up an hour earlier now.
Can I
Exactly.
just say, Ted? Can I just say, I mentioned earlier, Ted, I'm very sorry I didn't stop to visit you 2 weeks ago when I was in your neighborhood. But I told everybody when I stop and visit you, I'd prefer we all hang out for the weekend on a retreat and get to know the great Reverend Ted.
Yeah.
Oh, he froze.
It's a quiet deluxe.
All right, let's look.
All right.
It's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That classic look.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is
And
exactly
the thing that amazed me was, not even dust on the inside of it. It's just,
Wow.
it was kept in a case on a shelf and never used. Platen is still soft. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
This is the exact typewriter I want to get a hold of from at the University of Michigan Hopwood Room. It's a room for all the creative writing program. They have a typewriter that used to belong to Eudora Welty, and Andrea, who's in charge of the room, was saying, "Oh, it's taking up too much space. I might as well throw it in the dumpster." I said, "Don't throw it in the dumpster. Give it to me. I'll take it off your hands." But, because of the COVID restriction and things being closed and all that, I haven't been able to get it. But I think if I can, I'll get that and just bring it home. If nothing else, one of you guys can take it. I'd rather see that typewriter go to someone's hand who will appreciate it instead of going into the dumpster.
No kidding.
Exactly. Yeah. Very good. So Sean, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I've been last week here, it's sort of ups and downs with COVID. The more we go into and out of restrictions and curfews everywhere around the North America and all these changes and stuff like that. Been hugely busy at work. But I got a bunch of typewriters from people to repair and fix. So whether I want to be a business or not, I have become sort of a little bit of a side business for repairs. So I'm trying to balance doing my own stuff with other people's work, which is, it's good. Everybody's pretty easygoing. Nobody expects the kind of turnover that you do in normal business. But yeah, I have little wins. I adjusted one of my Royal Quiet Deluxes here. The escapement trip on some of the type bars was off, and that bugs me. I mean, it bugs me to the point where I lie in bed at night thinking about it and lose sleep over it, because I'm like, oh, I gotta solve this problem. And anyway, I fixed some stuff yesterday, and those little wins really help keep sort of every day positive and moving forward, which is always enjoyable. So I like clearing up the lettering on a typewriter, so it's all nice and consistent and even, and gives you a little bit of a high. Other than that, yeah, I mean, typewriters.
Yeah.
Typewriters.
Excellent. And welcome back to Natasha.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Oh, Natasha, your hair looks awesome. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, guys, I tried not to get addicted to these things, but man,
Too bad.
that's the last. I know, right? One, 2, 3, 4, and I got how many more coming? 3 more. So let me show you this one.
If you're looking for help to not collect typewriters, this is not the place to hang out.
I know. I see that.
We're all enablers on this channel.
Oh yeah.
But I
There's
got
no
a
quitters
19,
here.
16 to 22.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh,
Rex
Ooh,
visible.
Wow,
Rex
look at
visible.
that. Holy smokes.
She
Wow, that's beautiful.
You
sold
could
it
probably work
to
your
at her
biceps
house.
with that too.
You say what now?
You could probably work your biceps with that too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And
Lifting
see,
it.
she got new shoes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey.
New shoes.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So I'm doing an attempted restoration on it. I tried doing a carriage strap, but failed. And it worked for a second, but the keys never worked with it. So I guess there's more to it than this, because I put the strap on, it was going back and forth, but the keys weren't still making it move. So I can't say I know what I'm doing, but I did have the strap. And then one day my silly self put it on the bed to try to move another typewriter. And when I pressed the key, this thing snapped. So I'm like, I'll do this again, or I'm just going to send it off. I don't know. But everything else I want to do to it myself. If I have to send the carriage off, I will, because I don't know if I got the patience to do that twice. I don't. And I got a Royal over here. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh,
It's a wide carriage.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
Wow,
That's
that
a
thing's
beat.
huge.
The HH.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
HH, that's right.
Wow.
It's a 57.
isn't that the HHXL? Just kidding.
Yeah, it's HHE. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's got the elastic band for.
Oh, maybe because it's in excellent condition. He only sold it for $50. I was like,
Oh, perfect.
50, that's it?
What?
Wow.
You did all this restoration?
My
And
goodness.
it's an elite.
Where'd you find the
so that's
Rex?
good.
Yeah.
Where did you find the Rex?
Rex was on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm not going to get that. And you know how you just say, I'm ignored.
Yeah.
Wait a
You're
minute.
driving, you go pick
Came
it up.
back and I'm asking questions, going back and forth. And I was like, okay, I'll meet you at your house. So I had to go to her house and get it.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I've
Thank
never
you.
seen one of those.
Yeah, she's beautiful. That's why I really want to do some work.
Yeah,
When
no,
I put a
she's
typewriter,
beautiful.
she has got to work. She's got to be used.
Oh, yeah.
That is so
Definitely.
beautiful, though.
Look at that
Gosh.
red tab button.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tab
Stuff
button.
works. All that stuff works. It even has. I de-rusted the tabs.
So
Might
what
be
does
able to
not?
put it in?
What doesn't work?
Yeah, I put it in vinegar for 24 hours,
Oh my gosh.
and it worked. And I finally got a cursive typewriter, which typed this.
Oh,
our
nice.
first
Oh,
line today.
congratulations.
Nice.
So that is my
I think I'm the only person that doesn't like cursive typewriters. I sold mine.
You are.
Yeah, no,
this
really.
one here,
I had
Oh,
one and I
nice.
sold it.
Royal
I had
Safari.
a Royal like
So I
that.
gotta
with
get some
cursive, yeah.
nail polish. I got a great idea from the lady last week. Get some nail polish to cover that up.
Is it yellow or green?
Puce, sir.
It's a mustard
Puce.
yellow with some
Oh, okay.
olive in it. Because this is not showing the adequate color when I put it on camera.
60s
then I
colors
had
are
to-
so weird.
Yeah. And then I had to go and buy a typewriter for the year I was born, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So now let me show you that.
So
But I'm not happy with
1980s, right?
Da-da, da-da. You're
Now
such a
show you
sweet
that.
talker.
The year I was born, it was just slate.
Oh,
You
jeez.
could probably tell by looking at it.
Oh, I love those
There you
Sterlings.
Yeah.
I love
1903.
those.
That's great.
Yeah, I wish I was in love with it because it's skipping.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
But it's a
I
Smith
hate-
Corona, so it's easy to service. You can get that
Mhm.
solved.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
I was watching Joe Van Cleve.
I hate skipping. Oh, there he is. He looked.
Yep. I was watching his
Look.
video.
Just
about
don't look
that.
him. Just don't directly look him in the eyes.
But I was watching Joe Van Cleve's video on how to do that, and I don't know if I want to dig that deep. So I don't know. I'm kind of lazy like that because I was trying every other thing to try to get it to stop skipping, like changing the touch sensitivities and changing my technique, doing all this other stuff. When I saw you had to dig in like that, I was, I'm gonna, I might be able to do it because look, I got a typewriter coming that's going to require a whole lot of work, like from the ground up.
Oh boy.
So I got no-
Project.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I want.
Yeah, I think we've all
and-
got project typewriters.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
this one looks like
Yeah.
it's been put through a fire. Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I got an Olivetti coming, Olivetti Studio 44.
Oh.
And I'm gonna take a shot at another 1973 Smith Corona.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take a shot at it again. I'm like, it better not skip. I'm man.
Yeah. Skipping mostly is it escapement? Everybody.
Yeah,
Usually?
yeah.
Escapement, yeah. Oh, that's nice there.
There's a little forming thing you can do in there to get that sorted out. But if you saw Joe Van Cleve do it and you didn't want to do it, then it's probably a little too fiddly
And he
for.
explained it well. I mean, he's perfect. It's just me.
That's kind of
I'm
the thing.
problem.
Yeah, if you
Can
can do
I
it,
just
explain
say
it to you.
something? I gotta say something about Joe Van Cleve. Joe is cool, but his wife is much cooler. So I'm just saying.
Especially when she acts. Especially when she's acting in as one of his videos. It's pretty cool.
Really, I gotta catch that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, I put
Okay, now,
new
honey,
feet
walk
on
into
my
the house.
Royal.
Pretend you don't see the typewriter. Walk out. Yeah. Ready
Yeah,
to go.
I put new feet on my Royal 10, and the project typewriter I have coming in is a Royal 10 that looks like it's been caught on fire.
Oh my goodness.
And they said that it the glass panels are still in it. So
Wow.
I'm like, how is that? That thing looks terrible, but I'm gonna restore it. I'm gonna do my best. I think I'm gonna go for navy blue to paint it completely.
Ooh.
Nice. Very nice.
Hey Ted, what machine are you working on there? I might have missed that. Sorry.
You did, Ted.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I got an Hermes 2000 coming tomorrow too.
Ooh,
Oh, I-
Look at you.
I'm
I like-
sorry. I meant to mention that I got a Hermes 2000. And
I have
the
one
only
of-
reason
I
why
have one of
bought it so I
those.
could play with it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it. I've got that, and I feel like I've got that in the Hermes 10, and I don't feel like I have to get a 3000. So I'm kind
Yeah,
of that.
see, I don't think I'm a
Takes the air out of the balloon for that one because the 2000 is really nice. I really like.
because
the
I heard
2000.
how they kind of ran over the 2000 and went to 3000. Everybody's crazy about that, but they ran. I'm like,
I
why
love
did-
the 2000.
Yeah.
And the 10, I think actually Ted's working on a 10 today. The 10 electric.
Right here.
It's just an electric version of the 3000, really. I think.
Right here. Got it.
Yeah, he's got it right there.
Yep.
They're great.
This is my family typewriter. When I was in high school, my dad bought this in 1970, early 70s.
They're great. The only thing is when you hit return, Just prepare for your house to move.
Yeah. You don't want to leave a drink nearby. You don't want to leave a drink nearby.
Or small animals.
Yeah.
And Natasha, while we're talking to you, is it this month that your book comes out?
Oh, yes. I'm glad you mentioned that. Look, I got my copies. I got 6 copies for me.
Let me zoom in on you.
I don't know how you...
Oh, that's excellent.
Oh,
Congratulations.
interesting.
And it's Arcadia Publishing. I put Acadia. My bad. It's Arcadia Publishing.
Okay.
That's doing the book. I misspelled that. And so that's coming out on the 26th. They want me to do a trailer. They're looking for places for us to do a book signing around Memphis.
Yeah.
With COVID and all. I just got my Johnson & Johnson shot on the 31st.
Very good.
So I'm kind of ready, but if I'm ready to go either way, you know, this is kind of almost a once in a lifetime thing. I'm willing to kind of do that. Yeah. As long as somebody's willing to accept us around this time. So, or we just have to go straight promotional through the internet. And then I'll have to build I haven't done a what do you call it?
Platform.
I have Instagrams and stuff, but I need to do a 100% writers Instagram and a 100% Facebook, which I did before, but it was for books that I self-published 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're still on Amazon. So that's what I'm going to do. But this right here, I finally got traditionally published. So
good for you.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Natasha.
Yeah, that's excellent. Excellent.
We work in such special company here. I feel like I need to write a book now or something.
I know, huh?
Sean, you haven't written a book? I thought we've all written a book.
Oh, we have. I got a lot of book up here. It's just never gone out to anybody in public who hasn't thrown up.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Natasha, if I could do it all again as an author, I would have just had like Bob Marshall author or author Bob Marshall. And that way you can throw all the books you write in the future at author Natasha. Wallace, you know? So, these are just
that one, and then I'll get a picture of you and me. I don't know. Okay, let me I'm on live right now.
Anyways, that's just my opinion. Good luck with all the self-promotion in that, Natasha. I know it's extremely hard.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not a promotional person. That's why I'm going to rely a lot on them. I'm just not, and that's a downfall for me. So,
Natasha, do you? And I'm sorry, I'm new to the group. So,
hey, how you doing?
You said, and that book looks like one I want really bad. So, do you have just you said you're waiting to do your author site, but do you have just like an Instagram now that I can start following?
I do. I have Instagram.
Really?
I have I have 3 Instagrams, one for my fashion work, one for for photography, and one for my professional stuff like this. And so I'm sorry, let's do this. Najo _photography _ shoot. I haven't visited that often lately. I mean, since I stopped shooting mostly, I got to get back into it. But it's Najo _photography _ designs.
Got it. Thank you.
Najo is NAJO. And I'm sorry, hold on. Yeah, it is Najo _photography _ designs.
Maybe put it in the chat.
Oh, I should do that. And then there's Najo Professional Portfolio. Najo Professional Portfolio.
Where's all the typewriter stuff? Because that's the sweet stuff we want.
Well, that's where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna have to have a 4th one. I'm gonna have to.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
Najo Typewriters _ awesome.
Yeah. And I want to take like professional pictures of them and then set them up and then do some before and afters and stuff like that with these fixer-uppers. Because I got another 73 coming, like I said, that's so dirty and disgusting. And so I'm gonna do as much as I personally can to it, but any extras I'll have to send it away. Probably.
Yeah.
Elliot, get off the table.
Looks like,
oh, so cute.
Elliot.
I'm sorry, yeah, let me put this in here.
No, Elliot.
What are you working on, Ted? I think you're muted.
We should all get T-shirts. I think you're
Can't
muted.
hear you, Ted.
Oh, you're still muted.
We can read lips. He's just trying to repair something. He can't find the
There
mute
we
button.
go.
There we go.
There we go.
Welcome back, Ted.
All right. You guys got to guess what machine this is. It's made in Germany.
Green keys.
Yep.
So it's a
Optima.
that's a Groma.
Nope. It was sold in the U.S.
Is it a
Remington?
Tippa?
Nope.
Tippa.
Nope. It's a little bigger
Adler?
than that. Not an Adler.
I'm
Ah,
fresh
what's-
out of ideas.
Me too.
Alda.
It's sold by Royal in 1957.
Oh,
It's
Not
a.
quite deluxe, is it?
If you've ever heard of a typewriter company called Orga in Germany,
Oh,
they made these. Royal bought them out in the 50s, and they made the Diana and the Administrator, which is what this is.
oh wow.
they pretty much died after World War II, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
an
a super
accordion.
well-made machine.
Wow.
I mean, I picked up the service manual for it, which is like 8 pages, and not illustrated. And so I had to get one in order to take pictures and do all the stuff and like make the service manual a little more verbose and understandable and illustrated. And so that's what this is. I'm taking apart a Royal Administrator and rewriting the service manual.
Are those new feet on it?
Yes, these are Olympia SM3 feet. It came without feet, to me anyway. And it just so happens that the hardware fits the Olympia SM3 feet perfectly. So
How convenient.
Didn't even have to mold new feet for it.
Nice.
That's it. Today's mystery machine.
Yeah, very good.
But it's real neat. Every single adjustment I've found so far has a screw and lock nut to adjust it. So it is actually a pretty easy machine to work on.
Thank goodness.
And, so that's what I'm doing right now.
Nice.
Pulling it all apart. Let's see.
God bless you, whoever that was.
It's nice because if you want to adjust the tension on the motor, all you got to do is run this little screw here. Or if you want to take tension off, you just hit that lever and it backs it off a notch.
Wow.
It's a really amazing little machine, actually.
Excellent.
Have you? Did you clean it or did it come that clean?
It came this clean. I just did a little dusting on it, but it had been serviced before I got it. The guy who had it before me took it in to have it serviced, and the guy who serviced it cleaned it up real nice and adjusted everything. But I guess he just couldn't find feet for it and just didn't want to try. So,
oh gosh,
I got it for pretty cheap because it had no feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's very handy because I had just gotten the documentation like a week earlier.
Yeah. Is it a cat attack?
It is. It's a cat attack on typewriter parts. Dang it.
Yeah.
I am trying to clean up the keyboard on my Smith Premier 5, and in its past, some people have put what amounts to I don't know if they're stickers or pieces of paper. They're basically to cover the key tops. And in some cases, the cover is different than what's underneath.
Oh.
Yeah, for instance, this percent covers a right parenthesis on the keyboard.
Wow.
And the $ covers a 3/8.
Wow.
I'm not sure what that's all about, but I noticed that there's a bunch of keys like that on this machine. They've been covered. Some of them are the same exact as what's underneath them, and the one what's underneath is fine, and I don't understand why was it covered in the first place.
To protect them for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't have to clean those keys now.
Diane, what does
Well, but
what does
they're
El-
dirty
what does Elliot
underneath
think about
too,
that?
so
What was that, Sean?
I was going to say, sorry, Dan, did you consult with Elliot? What does he think about that situation?
did I what?
Consult with Elliot?
It's a great
What?
joke the first time.
Yeah, sorry. When I deliver it the third time,
You
the phone
mean
stops.
no?
When you gotta repeat it 3 or 4 times, it kind of loses its muscle.
I
A
thought
guy
it got
walked into a
burgers.
bar.
You could have walked that from Calgary there, Sean.
Sorry. I'll just mute myself. Sorry.
Oh.
No, don't mute yourself. If it was a joke, it went right over my head because I just
Oh,
don't
that's
get
all
it
right.
most of the time.
We just wet some noodles, go to the public square, and yeah, admonish yourself.
Hey,
Uh,
good
what-
morning, guys. It's May.
How are you, May?
May,
Hey, May.
and beautiful
Morning, May.
Little Rock, Arkansas. Nice Christmas
Hey, fellow
day.
Little Rock.
Hey, Natasha. Hey, small world.
I know it.
Right,
stayed in a-
Natasha from Arkansas too, and her son was my high school chemistry
Yeah.
student. So
Wow.
one of my favorites, and so funny. He liked me so much. He Facebook friended me. You know, I don't Facebook friend
Aw.
them until after they graduate.
Oh,
And my
Yeah.
son says hello, by the way. When I sent him what you
Great.
said, he said, "Oh,
So awesome. So we're both typewriter people. So
yes."
No.
yes.
I remember him saying that you'd like my mom. You two would probably be great friends. And yeah,
Aw.
I think he's right.
wow. That's cool.
Right.
Wow.
So how's everybody doing? Great?
Good, good.
I stayed in a
right.
great bed and breakfast in Little Rock. It's in a gorgeous
nice.
Victorian house.
Oh, I know what
Yeah,
you're
we
talking
have some of
about.
those.
I grew
Do you know
up
which one?
there.
You know
I
which one
grew
I'm
up
talking
down the
about?
street. Yeah, it's on
Wow.
Center,
It's like
it's
the old
off
lady
Center
or
Street.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Little
yeah.
Rock. Yes, we grew up around there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I knew it before
Yeah.
it was there. You know,
Yeah,
of course, because
it's
I
got a
grew up
lot
over
of
there.
history here.
So
Yeah.
it used to be a private owned mansion. Like
Yeah.
he had the Dobermans protecting it and all this stuff. And every
Oh,
time I
wow.
ride my bike by there, they terrify me. You know?
Oh.
You know? But yeah, it's gorgeous.
Little
there.
Rock's Little Rock's a nice town. I liked it. I drove around and I was there for a couple of days. I did a reading there.
Arkansas. is
Yeah, it was quite nice. Nice coffee houses and
Mhm.
Very
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
Arkansas is a
moving back.
beautiful
I don't
state.
know.
It's a natural state. You should. Well, you're close enough. So
Yeah, yeah.
not like you're that
It's just
far.
I'm lonely. I don't have my little family no more over here.
Oh.
Aw. I'll have to come visit you. You're only like what, less than 2 hours away from
Yeah,
me.
2.5. Yep. Because I'm over here in Cordova, but like I'm 30 minutes out of Memphis. So yeah, yeah,
Oh, on the other side. Yeah.
yeah. So that would not be bad at all.
Welcome back to Lee. How are you, Lee?
Hi.
Hi everyone.
Hey, how you
welcome
doing?
back.
Hi.
It's nice to be back.
More typewriter.
Good, good.
Yeah, it's good to see you all again. I had my AstraZeneca vaccine, the first one, and it just knocked me out.
Oh,
oh, really?
I've
Got
gotten both.
another one as well,
Yay.
follow up, but hopefully that's in a few weeks, and then it's done.
yeah.
I got my
good.
second next week, and it's Moderna. And both my wife and I have no side effects whatsoever. She's had 2 shots. She's essential, and no side effects for her at all. So, except for the sore arm.
Yeah.
But, I get my second next week. Whoop, whoop.
I'm supposed to get my first on Thursday. I don't know which one it's going to be yet.
Mm.
Oh, you don't? Yeah.
No.
If given the choice, I recommend the Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah,
You
I
got
mean,
the Johnson
really,
and
that would be
Johnson on
nice
Friday.
because I've got like 45 weddings that I'm supposed to photograph this year.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to having at least a little bit of protection.
Yeah.
for-
But great to show your card too. Yes, I can take
Yeah.
your picture.
Yeah. I got that.
Right.
I've got the
Yeah,
card.
my son had his
I
second
got
shot
the,
yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
The
What do you call it?
essential?
Pfizer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He,
yeah.
he had the Pfizer one. And he's having fever right now. So
Oh,
I really don't care.
Yeah.
I could have got Jim's needle or inoculation. I wouldn't have cared,
yeah.
down at Jim's Bar and Grill. Yeah, here's one. I would have taken it. Because, you know, modern living, the stuff that we ingest is probably worse than those.
Yeah.
I'm not even
Yeah.
eligible till tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Oh, happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Hey, Bill.
Oh.
Bill has joined us.
Yeah.
Bill from Oregon.
Hi, Matthew. There's a Matthew and a, hey, Bill. How you doing, Bill?
You're getting popular.
So Lee,
What's the
good
maximum?
morning.
Good morning.
So Lee, what's new in your world? Anything new?
Absolutely nothing, apparently.
Anything typewriters or?
I'm away with the
Sometimes
phone. Were you addressing that to me, Gregory?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm actually nothing. I'm just working. It's just work, and we're as of tomorrow we are in the UK. We can actually the shops open again, which is something I've been looking forward to because I support a lot of vulnerable people, and I've had to be really creative with where I take them to because there's nothing open. So it's how do you keep them occupied?
Oh wow! Yeah.
When there's nothing open. So that's I'm looking forward to that. So that hopefully that will be on Tuesday when I go back out to do that.
Wow. Yeah.
It's been a little bit of a sort of a phased. It's phased here, you know, so that we can hopefully it's. I understand the reasons why. It's just been difficult, really, when it's been over a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Not the right reason. So hopefully we'll get back out there and we can start, you know, living our lives normally again if we just keep following the rules for now.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. It's good having you back again. And I have to say hi to Emily. Welcome back, Emily.
Hey, Emily.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Excellent.
Hello.
Anything new in your world?
It's finally spring here in Michigan, I guess.
Nice.
It's like actually kind of pleasant outside. So
yeah, but which part of Michigan?
like right here.
Where? I didn't see
it. Thanks. Yeah.
See, here in Southern California, we're headed into summer already. We're just going straight to summer.
Right.
Actually, today it's not too bad. It's a little overcast, but yeah.
We're already there.
They got up to.
I've got my house wide open. Everything. I'm enjoying it. I put on heater, air conditioner, and a lot.
Yeah, got up to 75 here yesterday. Pretty nice.
Very nice. So, any new typewriters, Emily?
I do have a new typewriter, and it's okay. This is a long story, but I'll try to keep it brief. I missed a couple of typewriters over the last 2 weeks. I've been kind of scouting out some estate sales, and then attended a few of the ones that I was particularly interested in. And so the first typewriter that I missed out on was a Corona Silent from either 1937 or 1939. I'm not exactly sure because I didn't look at the serial number. But the design, like the styling wise, gave me some clues based on what I could see on the database. It had like the flat top. So anyway, I pinpointed it to like late 30s. And I was very close to buying it, and I just didn't get to the estate sale early enough. You have to be like really early, or you have to get there the night before and get your name signed up on the list so that you can be one of the first 10 to 20 people in the house. And I had to wait. Like I got there a little bit after 9 and I had to wait for over an hour, but I'm glad I waited because even though I missed out on one typewriter, there was still one in the house that I did buy. And then there were a few more that I did not buy. I was surprised at how many IBM Selectrics were in one house. So
wow.
Yeah, there were probably let's see, there was one gray one under a table and then two red ones in a back bedroom that were just like thrown up on top of furniture and at odd angles. And I like looked around, and you know, when you see something and then you start looking for it, you start to see it everywhere. That's what it was like in this house. It was like every time I turned around, I was like, oh, there's one over there. Oh, there's one over there.
Is this what it's going to be like when one of us die?
Oh,
Yeah,
Me.
exactly.
Yeah,
I hope
pretty
so.
much.
I want to be buried with him.
Yeah.
Definitely me.
So the typewriter that I ended up buying was an Underwood Champion.
Oh yeah.
And I got lucky. I got one that has legs.
oh,
Like the case
the
has
field
legs?
desk.
Yes, the field desk. I was
Oh
so
my
excited
gosh.
when I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute. I think I know what that is.
Yeah.
oh,
Congrats.
So,
Awesome.
thanks. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's in good shape. I'm lucky because I don't really have to do anything to it, like serious work on it, but I've been following there's a blogger on the Typosphere that is working on an Underwood Champion right now.
Oh, that's
Typewriter seller.
Yeah.
Backspace
Yeah,
does not
Backspace
erase.
does not erase.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have the same typewriter as him.
Wow.
Well,
So I'm
you'll
really
get a good lesson
enjoying
there.
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying following his blog because he's doing so much work on it. And I just don't have the knack. I don't have the mechanical.
You
knack
will if
for
you
it.
follow his
Neither do I.
instructions.
Called time.
Yeah,
You have to have a lot of time
time and space.
to
Exactly.
learn.
Yeah.
And tools.
And tools. Yeah, I learned that you can't use just a regular old screwdriver because you'll really mess up.
You have to have a variety. Yes. Like
Yeah.
5 different slot heads.
Mhm.
Me too, yeah. You have to. I had to buy a whole new tool case.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
well,
a
that's
pretty shelf
very exciting.
right there.
Yeah,
And,
so
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, there was just one other typewriter that I missed out on. It was a Remington Deluxe Model 5 from 1947. And that was another one where I should have just bought it when I saw it because it was right there, but it was 125. And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know the value of these typewriters. And I feel like I'm still kind of new and I'm learning a lot and I'm making a lot of mistakes, I know, but I was kind of wondering what everybody else thought about just typewriter prices in general. I know we've kind of mentioned that typewriter prices can be all over the place, but I was just wondering what everybody else sort of feels about that.
They're quite high right now.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Thing is, it's a popular thing right now. So the prices are kind of high, but they're still reasonable. It's not the days where you could get a typewriter for $5. But if you're spending $150 on a good typewriter that's in good condition, that's a fair price, really. I mean, considering what you're getting.
Now, if you think about what it would cost you to have a typewriter fully gone over by a professional mechanic, it would be several $100s probably at least, right?
Yeah. Back in the day, they were worth that much, Yeah. Adjusted for inflation, several hundred to thousands of dollars.
Yeah. So
They're definitely worth it.
You're just gonna have to figure out, as far as for you, how much are you wanting to spend?
Yeah.
Right.
Other
Sometimes you have to
than
wait
that,
for good deals.
There's no set and true values for typewriters right now because they're still commonplace enough. They're still plentiful enough that if you're patient, you can get one for free. If you're persistent and patient, you can get one for free. May not be the right, may not be exactly the one you want, may not be in perfect condition, but you can get it for free.
Yeah.
Or if you're impatient, you can spend some money and get what you want, get exactly what you want. That's just the way it works
And
right
clean
now.
and ready to go. Right.
Well, I had one that I took a pass on and then went back and bought. I'd like to show you guys that
I've done
if
that.
you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Oh, typewriter showing.
So-
Oh,
Erica.
beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Erica.
I have one
This
that's
is-
similar. Yeah.
This was for $80.
Wow.
Look at the decals.
Nice.
And it's in pretty good shape, but it's got a very unusual keyboard because the numbers are uppercase.
Oh.
It's got all these other kind of
Wow.
That's neat.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's kind of an interesting version. So I'm cleaning it up and whatnot. And it had a case, and the case is just beautiful, 100 years old. And it's got this leather handle that's really, really beautiful. So I'm going to recover all that. And I think it'll be kind of nice when I get it all spiffy.
Oh yeah.
It's already nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's
It's
fairly
clean.
clean. I don't think I'll have to do too much with the keys and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
nice. And it works,
Is that Polish or something? What kind of keyboard would you say that is?
More
Well,
international. I think.
German. I don't know what
No,
all
I
those.
have a German one.
It's not German.
I don't think it's German.
Like that
No.
C and that Z, it looks
That-
almost Polish to me or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that looks like Polish to me. I actually, with work, I have a team that I manage in Poland, and that looks like Polish to me from the limited amount that I know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know it's not German because I have.
Well,
mine is-
I haven't seen anything on the database like it, so that'll be interesting.
yeah.
And then I've
It's a
got
rare
a
one.
couple
It's really
of
cool.
Mhm, it's beautiful.
three banks. I don't know if anybody's interested in three bank.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
All the
I
time.
don't know why this is not coming into focus, but this is a 1922, which is
Oh, wow.
Katie's. I'm working with a woman in the Twin Cities to sell my units, and then I clean up hers, so it's sort of
Oh, okay.
a revolving door where I don't have to buy them all. I can just work on them and then send them back.
Play
That's
with
always
them and
good.
send them back.
Get to acquire
grandkids.
them and give them away.
Keep them.
But I think I showed you the three bank that I had, which is this green monster. And I'm
Wow.
having I took the keys off and I scanned the paper on the key tops were really stained, like it had a moisture problem and stuff. So my daughter's I scanned them and she's going to retouch them. She's sort of good with graphics and stuff. And then
Nice.
Ah, cool.
I'll have that new. But
Great color.
it's missing, like on this one, you've got the ribbon holder. And on mine, it's missing the ribbon holder.
No vibrator.
So if
No.
anybody knows of a source, somebody might have a three bank sitting in the parts department,
Somewhere. You just have to-
somewhere. That would be nice.
Patient.
And it's also missing there's a mechanism in here that lifts it, and that's not here.
That's too
So
bad.
yeah, it is. But I've not seen green. And then the database, I thought it was the serial number 2148. So I thought it was a 1920, but it isn't, because it's got patent pending on the back with 1921 and all that kind of stuff. So there was like a 2148 space 45. And if you go that far, it's outside the range of what they said was the range of serial numbers. So I don't know what this one is.
Freak.
Lynn, where's the serial number on that?
I can't remember.
I know everyone's different. I always forget too.
I think it's under here.
Lynn, it's under the left carriage. It's not under there. They do have another frame number sometimes stepped under there, but no, it's under the left ribbon spooler.
Under
Yeah,
Under here?
the left spooler. Yeah, that frame piece right behind there that hooks.
Oh,
to the,
oh yeah, on the angled part, just like the regular Underwoods. The metal bar that
Oh.
comes off the side. It's sort of hidden there, but it'll be facing the front if it's the same as the later Champions and stuff.
Yeah, those can be real confusing because they do have a separate frame number under the machine. It's usually.
I'll go get mine.
Huh.
But anyways, yeah, it's under the left.
I'll have to hunt around for that.
Yeah, it's at an angle, like Sean said. So yeah, I just had a big confusion with the machine on that. So
Okay, good. So that, oh, and then my last show and tell is my Bluebird.
Oh,
I
nice.
love that color. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's actually in pretty good shape and works, you know, I mean, I got a senior rider, which is also a torpedo. And that thing has an escapement issue and some other missing parts. So this is nice to have a working unit. And the thing with collecting, I think I've just figured out I like torpedoes. And that's it. So the rest can go out into the world and have a happy life. But I really enjoy torpedoes, and because I like Olympias. They've got the nice solid feel, but they're a little. The portables are just skimpier, and the torpedoes are portable, but it really has a fairly solid feel to it, I think. So.
Excellent. I forget where we were on the welcome back sort of introductions. I think Kara's next. How are you, Kara?
Hi, I'm good. Nice to see you all.
Yeah.
I got up in time to even, be here, get dressed and stuff.
Excellent. Anything new? Any new typewriters? Anything like that?
Yes, new typewriters, but they're not here.
Oh, that's the worst.
I'm in that agonizing place. So there was some vaccine talk. I got my J&J on Friday, so I'm good to go. I'm very excited.
Nice.
I turned 60 last week, so that's exciting.
Happy
birthday.
Yay.
And I was sort of drooling over. I have been on a hunt for a Royal with Canterbury, and I've had a couple of them yanked away from me. And so then, of course, I wanted it even more. And so I found it came up in a post on Facebook, and that Mark Schrad had one that was Canterbury, and then I said that was one on my bucket list. And then Megan Ciata, you guys know her? She does great work. She's in Arkansas. You guys, do you know
Megan?
Anyway.
Yeah.
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 So
excellent work. Definitely.
yeah. So she was like, I have some, and I'm like, you have some? What do you mean have some? So she sent me some pictures and stuff, and I was like, I want that body, but I want the Elite. And I didn't even know that there was a Pike at Canterbury, but I don't like it as much. I like the Elite. Anyway, So she's Frankensteining a machine together for me. That's a 1957 green crinkle paint Royal with the push button top, which I love those machines.
Yeah.
With Elite Canterbury. And so the price of typewriters, this one is like way beyond anything I was ever going to pay for a typewriter, but I know that it will be in perfect working order and perfectly clean and great, And I was like, can I really justify this? And then my wife was like, I want to buy that for you for your birthday.
Oh yeah,
So that's like a free typewriter, right?
Right.
So that's, I don't know when I'm getting that because
if you're
she's got
married, I don't think that counts.
And then, and she's also working on the show for my Enterprise. She's doing a repaint of that in the original color. So we'll see how that goes. And then, then my friend Darcy, some of you guys might know Darcy Prince. She's been off social media for a while, but She was in the typewriter groups for a while. She informed me that she was getting rid of like 70 typewriters, and I was like, send me a list. And of course, she's a very organized person, so she sent me an Excel spreadsheet. I was like, just Royals and Smith Coronas, and so I've been sort of drooling over that list. And there was one that I picked out that I really wanted because I had just been thinking about it. You guys have that where you're like thinking about a typewriter and then it shows up?
Yeah, that happens all the time with me.
I do that right here.
Totally. I've been obsessing about Corona 3s, and suddenly they're all over the place.
Yeah, see?
You know, so if anybody knows a good Corona 3 or a reasonable price, let me know.
Oh, that's last year. My sister sold hers for a good price, but oh well, it'll come around again.
Yeah, we're all going to Hong Kong.
So I couldn't even remember what it was called, but there's this 1963 Smith Corona Sterling, and it's in that transition. It's a 5AX, so it's in that transition from the 5 series to the 6 series.
It's the new 5.
What?
It's called the new 5.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, yeah.
And was it just that 1 year?
It was 4 or 5 years.
Really?
They made them from 1959, I think, to 1964.
Oh.
Oh, 66 actually. They went on to
63, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 63 is, I think 63 was the first year.
63 to 66.
Oh, Anthony, that was beautiful. But wasn't that like a speed line or something, what you were just showing? Anyway, so I had thought
it was
about
a Sterling.
Oh.
It was a Sterling, yeah.
But an older one.
Sterling. Yeah, I think it's 57, I think. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Because I have a 62 Sterling that's like just the 5 series.
Mm-hmm.
But then this one is like that one where they start to transition to the more modern look, but it still looks kind of
the smooth paint ones, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of two-tone, and this one is like sort of silver and gray.
Mm-hmm.
And I love gray typewriters. Anyway,
those are excellent machines. They're kind of the pinnacle of the 5 series right there, because they really did everything that they had learned over the last 20 years or 30 years to just in that new design, and they made it nice and cheap. They made it, well made. Put all the features in it. And
they're solid.
Really,
they are very
machines.
solid. It's probably the most efficient, easy to use machine that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Corona Sterling. It's just, it always works. It's beautiful. I have absolutely no complaints about it. It's
before the age of plastic took over.
Yeah,
they do have plastic motors.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that. But they're just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, if you flip it over, sometimes they have marbled plastic motors, so they're kind of
motors.
The spring drum.
Oh,
it's called a motor, but
learn something new every day.
Yeah, sometimes you'll flip those over and they'll have like a marbled color, like 2 or 3 colors in the plastic of the motor. And it's kind of psychedelic, surprise psychedelia underneath the machine.
Wow. I'll have to check when I get it. Of course, I don't have that one yet either. But I said, how much do you want? And she said, how about 35 plus shipping? And I'm like, 35, perfect typewriter price. So I'm excited about that. That is
speed line.
Pretty, Anthony.
Wow.
So yes, I have new typewriters, but I don't have any of them. Oh, but look what I do have that I got. Can you guys see?
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Bob Marshall.
Nice.
Did you buy 10 of them?
I bought 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
We'll start there. I think those, yeah.
Very nice.
There will be more, I think. They're so great. They're so soft, and they're not like sewn on the sides. I like that part where it's like, how did you do that? Did you just get some towels made or something? Where did Bob go?
Oh, he's
not here. Anyway,
basically he had them specially cut. It's as you could probably tell, it's a much finer material than like your terry cloth towel.
Yeah,
was not to scratch the typewriter, And then
It's
he had,
very soft
yeah, he
and
had them custom printed. So
and easy to put on and off, and I really like them. So so that's exciting because I like having my machines out. I mean, most of them are in shelves and stuff, but
Yeah.
I like
Dust
being
is
able
the
to just
enemy.
grab them.
very good. Very good.
That's all my typewriter excitement. Have
That's
you guys?
pretty exciting.
Yeah, I know all the new typewriters that had yet to arrive, and of course, I haven't finished going over Darcy's list, so there may be more in the
There will
pipeline.
be more.
Yeah, I know. Really, can somebody hand you a list of your favorite typewriters and you just go, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna take one
Ah.
for $35?
Because you're going to get
I've
yourself
just
into
made
that
a list.
logical problem. You're going to think about all the things that you should buy now because you might not see them again, even though they made 16 billion of these suckers. So
Right.
you're going to buy way more than you need.
Oh, Anthony, that's nice.
I want that.
Yeah, there's a bookstore or a publisher in Portland.
Portland, Oregon. Okay.
Nice.
There's your Corona 3.
Press.
And it's a Corona 3. There it is.
That is funny.
That's
I
great.
like that.
I had to run, so I'm out of breath.
Oh.
So have people been doing the prompt? All right, have you asked for that
Not
yet?
yet.
Okay.
We've been so chatty, but you know, that's kind
I
of
love chatting.
the typing prompt is just a fallback topic. So we've been very chatty today.
I'm enjoying that chatting.
And we've had some new faces, which is always awesome when new people join us. And I do want to say welcome back to Eric Tidd.
Eric,
how are you, Eric?
I'm well, thank you so much.
Very good. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Anything new in your world?
Had an interesting experience yesterday. Daughter and I went to an estate sale. I live in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Well, I grew up in Stone Mountain, Georgia. I live in Atlanta. And one of these giant mansions down in Stone Mountain had this estate sale, and I always walked by it as a kid, always wanted to go in. We walk in and we kind of peeked in the shed, and there's a gigantic sign, maybe 10 to 12 feet long, says hand painted Typewriters.
Oh,
really?
It looks like it hung out from somebody's typewriter shop.
Oh,
I mean, I looked at Sydney and I was like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? This is bizarre. But they wanted $250 for it, so I passed. Plus I drive a little convertible, it wouldn't have fit. So but I don't know if I'm kicking myself or not, so you guys can tell me if I'm just stupid. But we went in there.
You could have fit it in the Carmen Gia.
No, yeah, wouldn't fit in that. Thanks, Sean. We went there because there was a Hermes 2000, and it was a little gunked up, and took us a little while to figure out the margins because it was locked because they were like set really close, and because it wasn't the carriage lock. They wanted 95 for it, and I said, well, let's pass on it, and because the next day it'd go for like 50% off. And so I called them this morning and they said, no, that went yesterday. And I don't know if 95 would have been a good deal for a gunked up Hermes 2000 or whether that was a good pass or not.
well, I don't want you to have regrets, but I think a lot of people would have snatched it up at that price.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, we were thinking that later, but
They're not all that common.
okay. that's
why I snatched mine up. Yeah, I had to. It was 200. So yeah.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, somebody got a deal yesterday.
It's happened to all of us.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Like
I've been
literally, it
buying them
just
like
happened to
crazy,
me.
so I kind of decided to hold off a little bit, and that might have not been the one to hold off on.
Eric, you've got a lot of
That's
sober second thought available online, so you can always text like 30 different people to get their opinion like within 5 minutes.
Depends on how much time you want to put into it too. I mean, how gunked up was it? And,
Yeah.
you know.
So when we first, got to it, it was like the keys were rock hard. They weren't even moving. And we thought, oh man, there's something locked up on this. But then eventually we were getting them to move. But the carriage was a little funky. We finally got that worked out. And I don't know whether I should admit this or not, but we locked it all back up again, hoping that the next person would still think it was broken.
We've all been there too.
That didn't apparently work. Somebody
Oh, man.
Nice try, though.
Well, when my wife found an Olympia SM3 at an antique store, she wasn't sure whether she should buy it. She hid it inside another piece of furniture in the antique store.
Yeah, that's a good move. But I wonder if the guy owned a typewriter shop or what, because he had that sign and he had that Hermes 2000. He had another Smith Corona, another old machine there too that was in about the same condition. But yeah, I'd like to find out whether there was I grew up in this it's like an old town, and just wonder if there was a typewriter shop back there in the day.
Maybe that's why the shop went out of
Probably,
business.
Yeah.
I'm sure
All the
there was a
typewriters are
typo.
gunked up.
Yeah.
Good point.
Not sure why else you'd have a 10-foot sign saying typewriters on it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, but some people do collect old retail signs like that.
Yeah.
So, anything's possible. Now, if there were like a bunch of like spare parts and tools and that kind of thing laying around, I mean, that would be certain.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a someone that ran a shop, but maybe they just bought those few things from a shop that was closing or something.
Could be, yeah.
So, yeah. Wow, that's a great story though. But it's something to learn from.
Yep, for sure.
Just be careful. Don't go turn around and have a rebound where you overpay for something you don't really want. Just because.
Yeah, that happens too. That's easy to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Bill, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Very good, very good. And anything new in your world?
Yeah, I picked up a few new things over the last month. You were talking about the 5AX series Sterlings. So I got one of these. It's that's kind of a sage green color.
Oh, nice.
And then
That's that's the one.
Yeah, I've been looking at I just love the style of these machines, and yeah, they're for all practical purposes. It's like the same experience as the Silent Super that I have, except the first Silent Super that I bought. It's such a solid machine. It just has a different feel to it. Everything feels like it's just tighter. More precise, whatever, but this still has all the same keystroke action and everything. And then I don't know if you can see the plastic motor in here that
there it
Ed was
is.
talking about.
There it is.
But yeah, that's one of the things I first noticed when I flipped it over, and but I like the overall look of this machine a lot.
Oh yeah,
so pretty, right?
And then the other typewriter that I got a while back was I wrote about it on my blog is now my retirement typewriter. This kind of cream and black SM3.
Oh,
and this was a real interesting thing for me because they had one for sale here in Portland at Ace. And when I saw it listed online, I contacted Matt and asked him to put it on hold for me. And then there was ended up being a mix up and it was sold to somebody else. And I was like, oh gosh, that was a little crushing. And then I ended up finding this one later that night out on Mercari.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't go there that often, but I just happened to drop by. So it's like, I think I was just meant to own a yellow and black SM3, and that was my destiny. So yeah, my typewriter destiny. That could be a new series among the group, I'm guessing.
Well, that thing is beautiful.
That's nice. I got a kick out of Ted's comment about Olympia's reminded him of mint hot chocolate and little marshmallows.
Well,
Delicious.
yeah. And Curry, how are you doing?
Unmute myself there. Yes. Hello. I'm good. Good to see
Excellent.
everybody. There's a lot of people on this call.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I've gotten some mail in the last 2 weeks. So I got this one, and someone else had mentioned that they thought it was from a bill collector when they saw it in the mail. What is this? Who was asking me for am I late for paying something or whatever? But no, thanks for that, Bill. And also got this one, the notorious little one-page folded one from Michael Arral.
Nice.
So thanks for that. And then this Canadian one from William.
From
Thank you
Canada.
very much. And then got one from Diane as well. So
Nice.
thank you
good.
for that. And then my most recent acquisition is this green beast.
The Eatons.
The
Yeah.
Eatons one, yes. So,
Wow.
for those of you that aren't familiar, Eatons was a department store chain here in Canada for like 140 years or something. I think it was 1859 to 1999 or something like that. So I already had some Eaton's typewriter paraphernalia, some like ribbons and things like that I'd gotten with other machines. So I figured, well, why not grab this one? So it's basically just a rebranded Smith Corona clipper. And you guys were talking about like the serial numbers earlier. So this one is hang on one second. It's a 5CE. So I guess the E for Eaton's.
Oh, yeah.
As far as I can tell. So
yeah.
Very nice.
Oh.
You
New in my
got the
world
best color
anyways.
combinations.
I like those colors. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Greg,
Yeah.
I actually do have something new since last week. It's like this Smith Premier 5. I actually did get the ribbon on there successfully, and I did type a letter on said original ribbon, although it's kind of hard to read because, well, it's what, 115 years old probably.
Wow.
So the recipient of this letter is Joe Van Cleve, and I figured, well, since he's the one that got the inaugural letter off of my SP6, I'd give him the inaugural letter off the SP5.
Oh,
That's nice.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Although I do wonder if I should include a typed version on a different machine in case you can't read this. It's like, yeah, you see the purple type, but it's legible. You'll get the idea.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right. I think we've gone through everyone. So almost 2 hours into the meeting, I suppose we should do our typing prompt. I do have mine here. Yeah. And of course, I did it at the 11th hour this morning because yesterday we were down in Carlsbad and celebrating my sister-in-law's 50th birthday, and they had it nicely catered and everything. It was amazing. Pretty much everyone there was vaccinated, so it was very nice being able to see like everyone not wearing a mask. It was very refreshing, and yeah, it feels like we're getting back to, some sense of normal. So that was very, very nice. Before I do read this, I do have some very good news. My niece, I'm ashamed that I don't know her exact age, but she's somewhere between 8 and 10, and I want to say closer to 8. We'll just go with 9. She has expressed interest in typewriters.
All right.
Yeah. And apparently it's due to the Goosebumps books. And I've read none of them, So I'm not sure what role typewriters play. It may have just been in one book, I don't know, but nevertheless, she's very interested. So I told my sister that I have a couple that she would probably like. So we're going to get together and she'll probably try those out and see which one she prefers. I suspect, well, the two I have in mind are, I think it's an aqua Sperry Rand Remington Streamliner. I don't remember the year on it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful color. I suspect she's going to prefer that one. And the other one I might take is a Brother Charger 11. That one doesn't work quite as nice as the Sperry Rand Remington, but I think both would be a good size for her, and they're both nice to look at. So there's one other one that works absolutely beautifully. It's the Lettera 25, but I think if she saw that compared to the Aqua one, especially, she would probably go for the Aqua one. So I probably wouldn't even bother taking that one. But yeah, I'm excited that my niece is maybe she'll be on Typewriter Club Live. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's great. Exciting. Yes. So I have my typing prompt. Yeah. So as a reminder, our prompt was, it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life. So, and literally when I sat down, I had no idea what I was going to write. And then it just came to me. So here it is. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life. The doors in my memory were dark, featureless, but it was the brilliant white light that seemed to divide them as they swung wide and faded into the sheer brilliance. The light must be what they see near death before returning to life. But this light was one of a different hue. It was light filled with life and love. My eyes adjusted to the blinding light. Shapes took form as they came into focus. Birds? Yes, birds. A pure white bird, wings spread just a little, as if ready to take flight, was flanked, intertwined, with two blackbirds. They seemed to hold the white bird in the most unnatural way, as if supporting its first flight. As they moved forward, their fine details came into focus. White feathers turned to lace, wings became arms, and tail transformed into a dress, a long dress. The bird bride was indeed being supported, as if for her first flight, by a bird brother on either side. Their wing arms were intertwined, but now it seemed natural, loving. It was then that I realized that the bird bride was looking at me and only me. Her eyes were filled with once-in-a-lifetime tears of joy. They were very close now. The bird brothers released her, and she took flight, placing her hand in mine. The bird bride came into full focus, shedding her feathers of lace. I could now see her most beautiful brilliance. My bride, the most beautiful thing in the world, turned to me and smiled.
Oh,
that is amazing.
And yes, I did get a little emotional.
That was beautiful, Gregory.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely.
well,
Yeah.
I got one. If anyone else before me, I can go, I guess.
Go for it.
My first visit to a beach, it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life. I was 42 years old. 42 years of age when I visited a beach for the first time. We traveled to Orlando, Florida for spring break, 2016. That was also my first time going to Florida. We took the long drive there from Memphis, Tennessee. We stopped over in Atlanta, Georgia, which was also a first for me. The next morning, we continued on to Florida. Once in Orlando, we began touring the different beaches. First, Daytona Beach. It was terrible, honestly, because there was a strong wind gust blowing through and there was no one else around. So only us getting our hair and other things blown everywhere. We took a few pictures, mostly selfies, and purchased a few souvenirs, then left for the next destination. After being stuck in traffic for quite some time, as it was spring break for many, we finally made it to Clearwater Beach. To me, this was an ultra beautiful sight. Again, up until now, I had never laid eyes on a beach in person before, only on television and in the movies. You see, my mother and grandmother were my parents. We never traveled. My mother drove a Pinto and was scared to drive on highways. My grandma didn't drive at all. I was a sheltered only child. When I was 18, I left the state of Arkansas for the first time with my college choir. As a 20-something-year-old adult, I was too busy working 2 jobs and raising children, plus working on being an entrepreneur to travel very far. Finally, at 42, I met someone who loved to travel as much as I loved dreaming about it. He helped me to fulfill a bucket list item, which was to visit a beach, Clearwater Beach. Despite all of the other tourists there, I was able to find a clear spot of my own to admire the swaying palm trees, the soft beige sand beneath my feet, and the rush of cool blue ocean water over them. Yes, it was the most beautiful sight, the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
Lovely.
It's always.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I do have to say that you know, as someone living in Southern California, you know, within a fairly easy drive of a beach, I kind of take it for granted, you know.
Yeah.
But I do have, you know, kind of that same experience, I guess you might say, but with regards to snow.
Oh yeah,
I kind of equate the two, you know, seeing snow for the first time, seeing the beach for the first time. So
Yeah,
I definitely
it's about
feel
the same.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely feel you.
Thank
I was
you.
going to say the
Natasha,
same
that-
thing. I can't imagine living in an area of the country where I wouldn't be able to, you know, drive, you know, like even like an hour to the coast to, you know, go to the beach.
Oh yeah.
I go. I stay in Wells, Maine every year
Mhm.
in August on vacation, and so I spend a lot of time at the beach. And one of my favorite things about being on the East Coast is being able to, you know, go see the ocean, and
Yeah.
it's a different vibe being, you know, on a coastal town, you know, kind of like a more nautical area. It's got like a certain quaintness to it. It's charming, and I love being in those towns, you know, around the coast.
Yeah, I'm hooked on it now. We've been to what do you call it, Panama City Beach, Florida since.
Yeah.
And every time I get a chance, I'm back over there.
That Gulf Beach is just that baby powder white soft sand. It's like nowhere else. It's amazing.
Natasha, I particularly like the line. I finally met someone who liked to travel as much as I like dreaming about it. That was awesome.
Exactly.
That
He
just
was like that.
Good.
Yeah, that was just a very nicely stated.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else?
Sure, I can throw in something here.
All right.
All right. So I was thinking about this morning. I've seen a lot of beautiful things, a lot of beautiful people, things in nature and other things. But there's some interesting thing that sticks out to me is as a young man, I was in the U.S. Navy, and we had been deployed overseas for about 9 months. And this particular moment is standing along the railing along the edge of the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. In this case, it was the USS Constellation. pulling back into San Diego Harbor after 9 months overseas. We're dressed in our dress white uniforms. And if you guys know, San Diego Harbor is one of the more pretty harbors in the country, but especially just having your first glimpse of the United States after you've been away from the country for 9 months. But anyway, that was a pretty spectacular sight, having all the ships and sailboats and everybody greeting you. And that's a good memory of mine. So what I wrote was, there have been times when I longed to see something, not that it was of intrinsic beauty, but my pining for it was a thing of beauty, of a longing satisfied. Like standing on the flight deck of the USS Constellation as we entered San Diego Harbor after a 9-month deployment. Yes, the skyline of San Diego can be considered beautiful, but is it the most beautiful thing in the world? Not intrinsically so, but after being out at sea for so many months and away from the good old US of A, yes, it was one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen. So there is that.
Nice.
And I would also briefly mention that yesterday afternoon, I sat out on my front patio, I think with a Royal KMM at first, and I think it was around 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon, typing letters from my backlog. And I have a whole stack of letters to mail now, and I still have more to go, but I'm caught up to at least the year 2021. I'm up to about February as far as the people that have sent me stuff. And I guess it goes all the way back, I don't remember, maybe back to August or September of 2020 when I was backlogged. So I got a bunch of letter writing done and all that. So probably about 5 or 6 hours of typing yesterday. That was fun.
Very good.
All right.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Joe. Thank you for sharing that. Very good. Anyone else?
I've got one.
I wrote, who said that?
I'm sorry, who was next?
I think a bunch of us said something at once.
Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life. My friend Prue had dragged me through the darkening, chilly streets of our small town in Maine on an October afternoon. You have to meet my friend John, she said. He's an astrologer, and his shop has so many interesting things in it. Okay, I said, always up for an adventure with my pixie-like pal. We arrived at a storefront I hadn't noticed before, set in a side street, the kind with a big bow window and living quarters in the back. It didn't seem open, but Prue swung in the door, calling out for John. A voice answered from somewhere in the depths, inviting us in and saying he'd be right with us. I looked around the crowded space, nearly as gloomy as the fading light outside. There were hangings and things draped around us, a sequined dress, a green wool cape, a top hat. Old wooden chests, sideboards, small tables. Several lamps glowed at random intervals, highlighting the odd peacock feather, pen set, teapot. And suddenly there she was, modestly hulking off to one side on a small shelf that seemed bowed by the weight of her. Slightly dusty, yet still magnificent, the black gloss of her panels set off by the muted twinkle of the beveled glass windows at each side. I reached out and touched a key, gave it a push. It rose swiftly in its arc through the air, landing crisply with a whack against the paper rolled around her platen. The letter H, I believe. It was over. I was in love. I hadn't been looking for a typewriter particularly, although my profs were likely relieved when I stopped turning in papers written in my chaotic hand. Being 1979, one would think I could find something a bit more modern to type on, but this hefty machine took my breath away, and that was it. Staggering home under its weight also took my breath away, so it was a literal as well as metaphorical experience, you see. I went back later for the cape.
Like it.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
Very good.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yep.
I believe someone else said they had one.
I have one. I can
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
I originally thought about writing about the birth of my son, and then I figured I'd end up breaking down in front of everybody on screen. And I
Oh.
didn't really want to go there.
Aw.
But that I had a the only out of body experience of my life, and it was quite incredible. So I went with something a little bit less emotional. It was the most beautiful thing that I'd ever seen in my life. The sunburst paint job only added to the effect. My old K guitar was nearly unplayable due to the strings sitting up so high off of the fretboard, while this new applause guitar played effortlessly by comparison. I would have to spend all the money that I had saved from my summer job spent working for Dr. Kozad, toiling away in his yard during the humid Illinois summer. A few of the songs that I listened to on the radio that summer are still etched in my memory to this day, and I likely had dreams of playing some of them on the applause guitar. In the end, I simply couldn't resist, handing over my entire savings for the guitar with the rounded plastic back and the aluminum fretboard with integrated frets. Not only was it beautiful, but it was unique. I was thrilled with my purchase. The drive back to my hometown only took about 25 minutes, but it seemed like an eternity. I was ready to play this sunburst beauty. Just as I was entering the city limits, I saw my dad in his company car that belonged to General Telephone. He was headed in the opposite direction, no doubt on his way to investigate some matter in another town that required his attention. Within a matter of less than a second, my excitement turned to anxiety as I locked eyes with my father. I was imagining the disappointment that he would likely feel when learning that I'd spent my entire savings on the guitar. After being home for less than 30 minutes, I headed back to the music store in the nearby city where I'd purchased it. They were incredibly understanding and refunded all of my money. I never mentioned any of this to my dad, but apparently he knew something was up based on the look on my face when we crossed paths that day. It seems that my mom filled him in on the entire story when he brought this up to her. I had explained the whole thing to her after I had arrived home with the guitar. The following weekend, my dad drove me up to the nearby city to visit a different music store. They not only sold me the Yamaha guitar for a discount, but they gave me a good trade-in on my old K guitar, the one with the strings that stood about a half-inch off the fretboard. At that point in time, the Yamaha guitar was the most beautiful thing that I'd ever seen in my life. I still have that guitar more than 4 decades later. While I can't recall the last time that I played it, I don't think that I could ever bring myself to sell it. It's not like I need a reminder to recall just how well my dad treated me while he was around, but it's still nice to have just such a thing with me. I still think about that sunburst applause guitar every now and then. I even went to look at one that I had seen listed on Craigslist a few years ago, but I didn't end up buying it, even though I actually wanted it. Some things are simply better left as memories.
Oh, that's good.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Yay.
Thanks.
Very good. Nice. All right. Anyone else?
I've got one.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. My daughter watched warily as I brought typewriter after typewriter into my home office. When I reached 9, she became very vocal about our lack of need for one more typewriter. One day, though, she sat down in front of my first typewriter, an Olympia SM2. I stayed quiet, watching what she would do. She spent an hour typing page after page. When she finished, she held out one of the pages, even though she wouldn't let me touch. I obeyed and only looked, and it was the most beautiful thing I had seen in my life. She had lovingly typed her friend's original poems to give to her. And then she told me she wanted the Olympia for her own.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
Oh,
Very
lovely.
So I guess you got more than 9 now for sure. Now that you've got it.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else?
I've got one.
Okay.
It's a first draft, so
of course.
it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. I pushed to sleep from my eyes as the pilot announced we would be landing soon. I was fortunate to have scored a window seat on this flight. Seating was done first come, first served, and we nearly missed the flight. Speeding around Interstate 465 on our way to the airport, my now husband and I had overslept our alarms and woke up with just 2 hours before our flight departed, and an hour drive between us and the plane. As we arrived, it was like a scene from a movie. A couple runs through the airport, anxiously waits in security, and then running down the terminal. We were the last to board, and the flight attendants closed the doors behind us. Tired from our morning adventure, I took advantage of the 2-hour flight to get in a quick nap. I knew that our day would be full after we checked into the hotel. This would be the second time that I had been to New York City, but the first time flying. As we descended into Newark, I saw the skyline materialize through the cloud cover. That was the first time that I felt the butterflies from the city. It's a vigorous excitement and thrill, the feeling you get when you hear Frank Sinatra sing, "If You Can Make It Here." 3 years later, on my daily commute into the city, riding the train into Manhattan over the Manhattan Bridge, this time from the other direction, I can see the skyline materialize at the end of the tunnel. Looking over the harbor from the Manhattan Bridge, I finally figured out why I get the feeling of butterflies. It's the opportunity promised by the Statue of Liberty bravely waving over the port. It's the resilience of the city represented by the rebuilding of the World Trade Center. It's the determination to be great that can be seen in the Empire State Building and the Brooklyn Bridge. And it's the endless potential of each person in the city that never sleeps.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be quite a sight, definitely. Yeah, it actually reminds me a little bit of, well, when my parents divorced when I was 2. So we lived here in Riverside, California with my mom, and my dad lived in Peoria, Illinois. So my mom would put us on a flight, myself and my 2 older brothers. And the first one, I had to be like maybe 8, 9 years old. So here are 3 young boys, on a flight by themselves. And just the whole experience was really, really amazing. But the part that really stuck out to me was when the plane went above the clouds and you look out and you just see clouds and nothing else, and the way the sun hits the clouds. And so as a very young boy, that was like a very beautiful experience. So I was just, as you were reading there, that brought that memory back, and I was like, oh yeah, flight is an amazing thing. It gives you a different perspective on things. So
yeah.
So that's what I got out of what you read. So yeah. So thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Okay, I think that might be it. Does anyone have anything that they want to show, or any questions you have, or anything like that?
I have one question. This is about when I use the Olympia SF or the Oliveri, they're not very heavy typewriters and all that. So I have been using sort of a piece of carpet which I bought from the carpet store right next to Trader Joe's. I place it on my the remnant of the carpet. I place it on my desk, put the thing on top of it, and I type. And it's not very efficient because the typewriter moves. So what sort of material do you rest your typewriters, especially all portables, ultra portables that are light, to prevent them from
rubbery?
Yeah,
this is and rubbery.
Yeah, this is a drawer liner.
Yeah, that stuff's great. Yeah.
And
okay,
it comes in a very long roll.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very rubbery. It comes in a wide variety of colors. I love this gray one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Home Depot should have it, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, or even like Target or Walmart.
Walmart has it.
You can
at the hardware stores, you can find the thin rubber sheets that are toolbox liners, right?
Yeah.
The drawers of a toolbox, and those also work pretty well. But yeah, the shelf liner is less expensive. You can get that just about anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
thank you for letting me know. I'll have to go tomorrow and get
Yeah.
myself some. Thank
I
you.
got this one from Richard Polt. I think is where it came from.
Oh.
His typewriter pad. It's like rubber on one side and some kind of weird
It's like felt on the
felt.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
those
I
are
bought a
great.
few because I always leave them in hotel. I travel and then I'll bring it with me and I leave it in the freaking hotel room.
Oh
and
no.
buy another one from him.
So I found those to
dear.
be carpet pads. Basically,
Oh.
Yeah.
it's like a felt-like material with a rubbery bottom that's designed to, protect throw rugs from slipping. Right, you put it underneath the throw rug.
Ah.
And yeah.
Very good.
But I used to have, when I did some woodworking, I used to have a thin rubber thing that was for you to put wood on and sand it without the wood sliding all over the place. And probably came from Sears or Home Depot or something.
Ah. Excellent.
I use a yoga mat, exercise mat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rubbery.
Yeah.
Sound dampening.
Well, I have a yoga mat right here, and maybe I'll just cut off a piece and try it just after we're done today.
Yeah, there you
I thought I
go.
was going to do yoga. Who
You
was
know, they have yoga with goats. I'm guessing yoga with typewriters could happen too.
I've seen those calendars.
Yeah, this yoga with goats thing. I go to the websites of Indian newspapers and magazines, and it is really interesting to hear their real Indians opining on yoga with goats and all that. It's really funny, especially their
Yeah, I bet.
outrage.
Oh yeah, I never even thought about that. Of course. Of course they're outraged. It's ridiculous.
Excellent. Any other questions or stories?
I have a question.
Yes.
Does somebody have I've heard you can use a WD-40 to rejuvenate ribbons.
Yes.
Does somebody have a video about how to do that properly and what the limits of that might be?
I have a blog page.
Yeah,
I learned it from Ted Monk.
I did
Yeah.
too, and it worked. Although I overdid it the first time. But
Well, that's what I'm afraid of. Is
Well,
if you
ju-
put a little
you know,
too much
white.
oil on there, you might
No.
not be able to go back.
You just
Yeah,
kinda
less
have
is
to
more.
Take off the nozzle and just
Yes.
use the sprayer.
Yeah,
You can give a
the
light
ones I use have like
mist.
a sprayer, a little head that you pull it up and it's got the hose on it, and you push it down. It has the wide spray,
Yeah.
and you use the wide spray, and you want to do it far
Yeah.
away and kind of light. You don't want to have WD-40
So yeah, you
pooling
don't
down at
want
the
to
bottom.
use this thing. Just use the sprayer head, just a light mist,
There you go.
like you're
I
misting cologne or something, and just let it
I
sit.
think a nice
Don't wind it up like-
video. I think a nice video would be so helpful.
Oh, well, I gave you a
Okay.
blog post. It's in the chat.
We have
You don't
a
like
few
it, you
YouTubers in
can
here.
do something.
Go
So
Van
is,
Cleave, you've been
is
tapped.
is WD-40 an actual cologne? Is that what you guys were saying?
Have a fragrance.
It's a fragrance.
WD-40.
A little bit behind the ears,
It doesn't burn as bad as PD Blaster behind the ears.
Oh boy.
The WD-40 really loosens up the joints.
I did take an old ribbon and I took it off the spool, put it in a Ziploc bag, and WD-40'd it and just let it sit there, and it's still sitting there. It's been like almost a year, so it's probably not. I totally forgot about it. So I haven't really tried it per se. I have to go try that ribbon and see what happens.
Video.
Yeah,
I know.
Joe needs to keep a little notepad next to the computer during these live streams.
I do have actually let me see here.
Right
I have this whole card system of ideas for videos.
Nice.
So let's see if I can show you this. So this is like a ring binder, and all these cards they're organized by different subject matters. But I have a whole list of like potential typewriter video projects. But some of these, involve like their projects. You have to do a little bit more work than just turn the camera on and start talking. But anyway, so yeah, I have a lot of things I try to document. So
this would be an easy video to make.
Yes, I know.
Apparently people don't
Last
blog
words.
posts anymore.
Well, it's like
Well,
one of those cooking shows. You have to do
Oh, I
the
know.
pre-sprayed ribbon
Yeah.
first and let it dry for a little while before you roll it up and show how it works. Because you can't just freshly spray it and then use it, because then it's too wet.
I have pictures of Joe pulling the freshly
Gotta
baked ribbon out of the
prep.
oven. I've pre-prepared
A
this.
freshly baked ribbon. That's right. Out of the oven. That's right.
You can
I
even
think
make
there are
the
probably some limits on how old the ribbon is and whether this will work. You know, I mean,
yeah,
It has
definitely.
ink
There's
on it.
no limit. I have done it on 80-year-old silk ribbons. And
Oh wow.
I've
Right,
done it
Diane, are
on-
you listening?
I've
Yes,
done it
I
on a
am.
1971
There's ink on it.
ribbon
Should revive it.
that is still working 6 years later. So
Cool.
it's long lasting.
Mind you, I have new ribbons in my desk drawer, and the problem with this ribbon is that it's torn somewhere along the length of the ribbon.
Oh.
I mean, it's not torn enough that it won't go through the machine. It's torn. Here's the ribbon. It's torn this way, not this way. So
Oh,
it
okay.
will still go through the machine, and I can still use it in air quotes. But yeah, I could actually, that'd be actually a nice thing to try, just for try it, because the ribbon's shot anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, good idea.
I,
All right.
I kind
Got
of
it.
visualized,
To pull dust bunnies out. Dust bunny tweezers.
oh yeah. I kind of visualized Joe making it like a spoof of the old shake and bake.
Good idea.
That would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I've got so the serial number on the Underwood 3 bank is right under the ribbon thing here.
Oh, okay.
It's right on the flat here, Lynn.
Okay, I'll look again. I hadn't been able to find it while we were meeting here.
Yeah, and I
That
totally
is a
forgot.
nice
I thought
screen.
Yeah.
that's
Very
same
nice.
here.
Again.
Beautiful.
This one, I don't know. You guys from California?
Wow.
I don't know. The place probably isn't in business anymore.
Probably not.
Stanley Indra.
Oh my goodness. Love
But
Do you
I
have
don't-
it on the
I'm not up
database?
in that way.
No, I don't have it on the database. I haven't done all that yet. I guess I'm lazy.
You're not
Okay.
Because I was looking
You're in
for
good
it in the
company.
database. I didn't see it.
Database shaming is what we call that.
God, you guys are so mean.
Yeah, I need to update mine too.
Yeah. Excellent. Cat
I
drumming.
need a typewriter cover for these
Well,
things.
we know someone that sells them.
Yeah, but not for these
Okay.
things.
Need a few.
He doesn't do them big enough yet.
That's true. Maybe it won't even fit those.
Yeah. A
You have
beach
to buy two of
towel.
them.
There you go.
Little bit of a different design there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's Indro. How are you, Indro?
He said,
I'm
then he
fine. How
said,
are you?
Very good, very good. Yeah. Anything new in your world?
No new typewriters. Just a new car.
Ooh.
Oh,
To carry typewriters.
What kind of
did you
car?
get?
Oh, it's a U.S. car. It's a Jeep Liberty.
Ah,
oh,
very
nice.
good, very good.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah, it
Just
was,
good fun.
yeah, yeah. We're actually looking at new cars as well, but yeah, go ahead.
No, it's my last car was a BMW, but before that one, I had a Jeep Cherokee. So, and I joined the Jeep club, so we did touring and off-road driving and things like that, and I missed that. So I thought I'll just buy another Jeep and then go back to that club and then have some good times.
You can't be in a Jeep club with a BMW.
No, the Germans.
Yeah.
Sean and I are starting a club on matching your car to your typewriter.
Ooh.
Yeah, you got to be same year and preferably the same color if you can sort of get them in the same few years.
Wow.
Boy, I'm in trouble then. I've got 1889. There were no cars.
We'll get you a horse cart or something.
Yeah.
Well, horse carts are real nice. You know, the funniest thing for me, when I first came to the US, the day before I left, I was riding in a horse cart to go from point A to point B in our city. And the next day, I was sitting in the, after orientation, I was sitting at the University of Oregon campus, staring into an Apple computer, trying to figure out how to switch it on. And I didn't know what a mouse was, didn't know what, I'd never operated a computer before because where I come from, which is a semi-rural India, if you had a mechanical typewriter, you were high tech.
Wow.
And I came from that world right to the University of Oregon where you had all these things and I didn't know what to do. And then I had to ask for help.
That is a real life example of time travel.
Yeah, exactly.
From a, well, it's a place where only maybe a city of about 500,000 people then in 1991, there were maybe 100 private cars and the rest people either rode buses or rickshaws or they rode on horse carts.
Wow. Yeah, my dad and I were having a conversation. I think it was yesterday. He's 85, and so he was basically talking about, you know, all the changes in technology and everything that has happened in his life, and it's very frustrating for him because, you know, things worked a certain way for a very long time for him, and now things are like very rapidly changing, and he doesn't he thinks a lot of the changes that have happened in technology and society are really kind of backwards and don't make sense, and he doesn't see it as good changes basically. And then, you know, you have me, I'm like, you know, approaching 50, and so I have a very different perspective than him because, you know, I grew up with the computers, and I think we were using TRS-80s and PET computers, you know, I want to say in like 3rd grade or something like that. So, you know, I kind of grew up with it. So yeah, it's, I understand the sort of culture shock there, you know, from 2 perspectives, you know, but having you go from what you were experiencing in India to sitting in front of that Apple computer, you know, that, wow.
Yeah, I tell my friends and meet about that experience of mine, and
yeah,
they are completely flabbergasted.
Yeah. It also reminds me a little bit, my grandparents were missionaries, and so my mom actually grew up in the jungles of Peru. So she spent a few years there, like her most formative years there, and then she comes to California, I think up in Monterey, and they throw her in a boarding school, and so that, you know, she's like in this huge culture shock, going from jungles where they're dealing with these you know, native peoples that are just out there in the wild, wearing, you know, little loincloths and and carrying spears and stuff, and catching piranhas, and then suddenly she's in Monterey, and you know, what is presumably a kind of you know, upper scale boarding school. So yeah, there's that Yeah. So, and she's told us stories about the shocks she went through. So I can definitely understand. I can definitely understand. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first came to the US, the fact that vegetables came in cans and fish like tuna came in cans was a sort of revelation to me, because, you know, for me, growing up in India, if you wanted a lemon or a lime, you walked out to the yard behind the house and picked out the lemon and you bought it in, that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And fish, I'd never seen any fish in a can. You know, it was because fish was something you went to the open air market and bought a whole fish.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I do see we have another new face here, Mike D. How are you, Mike?
I'm just fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Because you're a new face, did you just want to do just a very brief introduction about yourself?
Sure. I'm Mike in Virginia on One Type page. So I've been on that for a couple of weeks now, off and on. Not much of a collector here. I've only have 5 so far, but
yeah, more than me.
And those I got over 40 years. So, but I had this, my oldest one, which is my newest one, is the Olivetti Letter of 36, which I got, I guess, I was job hunting at the time. It was my sort of post-college typewriter. I traded in something, an old Olympia portable, I think, before that. So I wish I still had that, but I don't. And so I've been kind of interested in this. Dragged out the old that I had in the attic, and started typing that. This is probably still my favorite.
Yeah,
it needs a little more of a cleaning. And then picked up a couple more recently, which my sort of had this Sears.
Oh yeah,
which is a brother. And yeah, and it's a very sort of simple plastic body machine, but I really like it. It works nicely. Yeah.
And Mike, you're into guitars too, so you'll be able to talk to Bill Guthrie here about that. So there's always something in common with somebody around here.
Yeah,
that's
cameras too.
Nice. Oh yeah. Well, I've got a lot of cameras. Yeah, I've got like 4 guitars and I don't know, 50 or 100 cameras. So.
Wow.
And it's just the problem is I've collected so many things over the years that I've got like all this stuff around. I don't get rid of stuff very easily. So I've got old sewing machines and cameras and photo equipment and razors and everything else. So this is kind of the latest.
Yeah.
So
what do you most often do on your typewriters? Letter writing or?
I've done a couple. I just sort of got them out like 2 months ago.
Okay.
So I've got this little sort of nano journal that I keep, which is kind of
nice.
just a couple little one-liners and occasional photo pasted in. This was just sort of an old notebook I picked up at a museum shop somewhere.
Excellent.
But most of these don't have photos on them, but they're just sort of one line.
Yeah.
Things, and sort of personal recollections that I'm just sort of going to stick in a file, and maybe my kids will read them when I'm dead, and or my wife if she's so inclined, but they probably wouldn't be shared outside the family. And then the One Type page, and I've tried to write a couple of letters to family and friends, so
okay,
that kind of stuff, and just thinking of different things to write, and never considered myself a real writer, but it's kind of fun, and it's a different process now.
Yes.
I grew up on typewriters originally before I got into computers, but that was a long time
ago. Excellent.
Well, I have a guitar that's made somewhere near Mike's, where Mike lives. I got a Hassan Dalton guitar made in Staunton, Virginia.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they were made there. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the best bluegrass guitars for flat picking.
Very interesting. Okay, because that kind of fits in with a band I saw one time that they said that they got their guitar somewhere around there. At least they were from around there. So I was trying to recall who made their guitar, and I think that's probably who it was.
At some point in time, I would like to get another guitar made in Virginia, but I don't think I'll be able to afford it anytime. I'd like to get a Wayne Henderson. It's made in Rugby, Virginia, and they're like the guitars are all bluegrass pickers are dying to get one off.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not much of a bluegrass person. I mean, I used to play a lot of mandolin, but didn't play a lot of bluegrass. And I've got a Gibson, a big Gibson that's probably a great bluegrass guitar, although now I'm trying to learn fingerstyle, so it's not quite so good for that, but it's a J30. So anyway, so a lot of different.
It's still a
interests and stuff
classic guitar.
That's right, yeah. And most of these are, this is just a made in Mexico Telecaster, and
yeah,
I'm learning.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. So that's it. I'm retired now, so just fooling around with a lot of different things.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's good to have you join us and be
Definitely.
our friends. That's what.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
What are you trying to show us there, Diane?
I'm showing you the brush, the type cleaning brush off of the Smith Premier 5. I took it out.
Oh wow!
Using the crank.
Wow.
This is the hard to find crank, so it fits down through the typewriter and gets to the brush. That's how you clean the type. But I was wondering how to clean the brush itself.
What are the bristles made of?
I don't know. They look and feel kind of like normal brush. Although
they're horsehair or natural fiber or plastic. I guess they wouldn't be plastic. So
no, they're not plastic, but I'm not really sure what they are. It's hard to say.
Does that thing stay in the typewriter?
I'm sorry?
Does that thing stay in the typewriter and clean it while you use it, or do you just put it in to clean? Sorry, I'm not familiar with it.
It actually stays in there.
Oh wow.
Huh.
Yes, I'm the official antique dealer of Typewriter Live. Let's see if I can show you
got the
where
oldest
it
stuff,
is.
I think.
I need a long screwdriver to say, okay, so this thing here is where that's the basically the brush holder. So it screws into the other end. Yeah, you're looking at the bottom of the typewriter. So it screws into the other end. And up here you can see the ring of the type bars or the type basket. So
it's a manual thing. You stick that thing in there and you turn it every once in a while just to clean them off. It doesn't do it on its own when you're typing.
No, it does not. Basically, because you see, I didn't grab a long enough screwdriver.
That's okay.
You can see the ribbon is right there.
Oh yeah.
Kind of moves. I had to move it out of the way to actually get the brush out of there, because I was like, how the heck do I get it out of here? Because this is what it looks like from above. And so this little, whatever that's called, I don't know. I wish I could find a ribbon that looked like this for this typewriter. That would be so cool. But
a big ribbon.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, this is an inch and 3/8, and unfortunately, I have not been able to find a red-black ribbon of that size. And I actually checked with some of the time clock ribbon sellers, because they sell ribbons that are pretty big.
Your brush, maybe it's made of hair, maybe from hogs, because they used to make brushes, really stiff brushes for other purposes, made of hog hair.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like the old shaving brushes, right?
No, not shaving brushes. They used to make a badger
Oh,
and
that's
other
Badger. Yeah,
things.
that's
Yeah,
Badger.
but they use those. There's a guy who over here who's a blacksmith. He's got some brushes that are really old, and he was telling me that things were kind of industrial cleaning and stuff like that. The brushes in those days, say in the earlier part of the 20th century, were made of hog hair.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's
Okay.
interesting.
I
Yeah,
wonder
So
this
I
is
guess,
1906.
yeah, I
This
guess
one.
I would say maybe start with some warm water and soap. Just
Yeah.
try to clean it out, and then rinse it with clean water and blow it out with a compressor.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say simple green, but just test it just on a small section.
Yeah.
But I like Joe's idea better. That's a little more safe.
Well,
But-
I was actually doing simple green just on this surface here because it was kind of filthy and nasty, and it's obviously not shiny, but it's looking a bit cleaner. It was really kind of disgusting. So
Yeah.
I have quite a few of these to clean up. I think I only have one machine that doesn't have it in there.
Excellent. All right.
Well, Gregory, just so you know, we'll be having another friend of mine. Maybe you've seen him on YouTube. His name is Taylor Harbin.
Yes.
Yes,
You know
Taylor
Taylor.
Harbin. I've invited him, and he emailed me yesterday saying that today he was taken up with something, so he can't join us. But as of next Sunday, he'll join us.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I appreciate you inviting people. That's always nice.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm used to inviting people because I'm in charge of 2 or 3 groups, and then just seems to be that I'm the sort of person that likes organizing things. And
Yeah.
so once I found out about the Typewriter Club Live, I immediately called my 2 or 3 friends who are into typewriters
Yeah.
and invited them. And you met Charlie last week, no,
Yes.
last time.
A couple weeks ago,
And
yeah.
yeah, and then Taylor's going to join us.
Excellent. Very good. Very good.
So I wanted to throw this out right quick. I got a postcard from Bernardo over in Portugal. And it's a really funny, quirky postcard. But he wrote on the back with a label, with a thermal typewriter label.
Oh, nice.
And he was curious whether or not it was going to arrive to me with the thermal label intact. And sure enough, it did. The thermal label seems to work fine for shipping, mailing a letter or whatever, postcard. So
very good.
Bernardo, if you're watching, I got the card.
Nice.
And I'm going to sign off right now.
Okay.
Anyway, it's good seeing everybody again. And
Thank
we'll
you
see
so much, Joe.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Joe.
See you, Joe.
Thank you.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.
Now, Ted, I feel like we need to do more catching up with you.
Like how?
Well, it just seems like so long since we've seen you. I know it hasn't been that long, but any other new projects you've been working on, or
Let's see. I put out a book for the Smith Corona standards, the 6s, 7s, and 88s.
Yeah.
Secretarial standards and super speeds.
New books.
So that is out. I put out a bunch of stuff that Richard Polt has on his site, a bunch of new user manuals, and the first half of the 1959 David Skadden book on home course on typewriter repair.
Yeah.
That's up there now. So grab that if you're interested in learning typewriter repair.
I've already done so.
Well, he's on it.
We are looking for the second half. We are missing lessons, I think 26 or 23 through 31. And so I've got the guy looking for the second volume of that. Supposedly it's in his basement somewhere. So let's see.
Hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed,
Get
definitely.
get the whole thing together. We've been looking for that for years. Let's see what else. I made everybody's feet who asked about him. So all these emails I have asking for feet, I'm going to be emailing you probably today and saying, hey, make sure I have your address and send you guys out feet.
Ted, and let me thank you in advance for doing all of that work.
Yeah.
If I'm on the list for that, because that's really, really huge of you. And for us, some of us lazy folks who aren't willing to really go down that road yet, we really appreciate it.
I'm trying to teach you guys how to make feet.
Yeah.
You are. Well, you're trying to teach us how to fish, but we just get it in a can.
Well, I got a few of them in baggies. I don't know about cans.
That's all right.
I have a database question.
Okay.
If you, if I put in a typewriter and then pass it along or sell it or, it's somebody else's and they put it in, do you have duplicate serial number things or is it?
We basically the way we handle that is if you have your listing, you'll just switch it to a citing because it's no longer in your collection.
Yeah.
And then they'll upload it and put it as in their collection, and it's fine to have duplicates. It's actually just fine. In fact, if you want to, on your gallery, put a link to his gallery and say, hey, I sold this to this guy, and now he has it in his collection. And that I think that would be an interesting way to trace where a machine goes in people's gallery and people's collections. So if you have a machine that kind of travels around, and that might be an interesting story.
Yeah. I'm cleaning up machines for a dealer up in Minneapolis, so I can put them on as I clean them up as, sightings. And then she may get around to being a hunter. I don't know. She's busy selling them, so maybe she won't ever do that.
If she does, it's perfectly fine. We'd like to trace the travels of that machine as it goes through people's collections. So
have we thought about starting a sisterhood? We should have a sisterhood of the traveling typewriter. Move the typewriter around and it can change everybody's lives. I don't mind being part of the sisterhood.
Sure.
So
Well,
Ted,
this
I like
one
the
is this one is a sighting and a collector. So
there you go.
Ted, I like the idea of actually canning typewriter feet and then maybe setting them randomly at a grocery store shelf between the tuna fish and the baked beans. Just to see how people would react,
Fresh typewriter feet.
You'd have to print up labels and get a catter. And, oh man.
List of ingredients,
Yeah. You'd have to
0
have
calories.
FDA approved.
expiration date.
Nutritional value.
Now, this is coming from a vegetarian, so it breaks my heart a little bit, but I can't pass up on this joke. You could put them next to the pickled pig's feet.
Pig's feet, yeah.
You know what? Some of my friends here were former athletes at the University of Michigan. There's especially one guy, he's a doctor in the hospital now. I can tell you that if you have canned typewriter feet, I'm bet he would get one and open it and try to eat it.
Now, Ted, could you make edible typewriter feet?
I guess you could. I mean, they make edible underwear. And,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they can make them out of chocolate.
Well, I mean, you could make them out of the stuff that they make the licorice ropes out of. You can make them out of licorice.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, I'm vegetarian, and in theory, Spam is edible, right? So
I don't know if that qualifies for as not meat. It is a meat byproduct.
Or you can get one of those Impossible Burger type things, meat made from pea proteins.
Yeah.
All right, so I put a link to my latest blog post if somebody wants to read the things that I have done lately.
There's a lot.
Excellent. It up right there. Also, I figured out the mystery of why Hermes 3000s have the tab and backspace keys reversed on some machines. So if you've ever wondered about that mystery,
check out that blog post.
It is now no longer a mystery.
There you go. Now, Ted, I recently picked up, I don't have it handy, so I can't show it, but I recently picked up a Smith Corona 250 Office Electric. Do you know anything about those?
I have the service and parts manuals for them. Unfortunately, they were printed as a printer. I'm very offended by this, but when they printed the manuals, the press guy just let his ink run out on the press. And so it's really light. The printing on the sheets are really light, and it's also, 60 years old. So
yeah,
I have scanned them. I'm now going through and basically trying to crank up the contrast as much as I can to get the text to be and the illustrations to be readable and normal.
Yeah.
And so I have to go through every single page of that book and do that. And I've got it. Let's see, it's in the process bin right now. Let's take a look at that folder. And it is, let's see, it's in the scanned but not PDF'd. Yeah, I got about a third of it done.
Okay.
So eventually it'll come out.
Yeah. Well, my goodness, I appreciate your efforts. My goodness.
So that's
yeah.
That's where that one's at. But the mechanics are very much the same as the other 6 series electrics. So if you've got any of that documentation, it'll be very helpful for that.
Okay.
And they're pretty simple machines.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what condition it's in. Because I only used it fairly briefly just to make sure it turned on. The motor sounded fine. Definitely louder than what the Royal Apollo. Is that the quiet one?
There are no electric typewriters quieter than the Royal Apollo.
Exactly. Yeah. So the motor sounded fine. I want to say the type bars were sticking, but obviously that's an easy fix. So yeah, but I did notice in the typewriter database, I think there's only one listed in there.
Oh, let's find out.
And in the list of the dates of the serial numbers, I didn't see the exact prefix that was on mine, but the person that posted theirs, I think they have the same prefix as mine. So
it is the XGLR or the GELH, because apparently there's 2 different kinds.
The X.
The X6LR, sorry, not XGLR,
yeah.
It's X6LR.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing about those machines is that in order to make them business class, to make them heavy, there's actually weights glued to the bottom of the machine on the inside of the shell. So if you want to lighten it up, you can actually pull those out if you want.
Oh, that is funny. That is funny. Oh, that reminds me of I have in certain circles they call it a scamera. It's basically a camera made by I believe a Chinese manufacturer, and they just slap various camera brand names on it. The common one is
Olympia,
Canon, or Olympia, yeah. But this particular one is Canon, and I think it's the Canon D9000 or something like that. So I looked it up and was watching these videos about this scamera, and they have weights in it because it feels like heavy. So you feel like, oh wow, this is really something. So the guy dismantles it, and there's this huge weight in the bottom.
Nothing says quality like big lead weights in the
Oh man. Wow, it's good to know that I can make it more portable by taking out the weights though.
Sure can. It still doesn't change the size, but
yeah,
it is a little bit lighter.
yeah.
Also,
Also,
you want to keep those weights because they have power return. The infamous
exactly, yes. I did do the return, and it does it well. I use a little TV table, and you can see it shakes. So yeah, when I did that return, it was a woo.
Yeah, you want to be careful that it doesn't throw itself right off the table. So
yeah, and it's a fairly wide carriage too. So reminiscent of the classic 12. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll have the larger, beefier 12-inch carriage on it because it is a business class machine.
Yeah,
it's business.
Yeah, I think Dwayne Jensen was showing one, and I don't know if it was a recent video or if I looked it up, but it had a slightly different name on it though. His, I think, actually mentioned like secretarial or something like that. Whereas this one is office electric.
Yeah, it'll be like secretarial 250 or.
Yeah, but he made it sound like a good machine though, so I was glad to pick it up. So
it's kind of the beefier version of the 6 Series electric. So it's going to be a pretty good machine.
Excellent, good to know. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but I'm noticing a trend about Skywriters that they're not going for as much, at least on Shop Goodwill. Because I recently won one on Shop Goodwill for $41, and then shipping brought it to under $70. And I'm like, didn't these used to go for like over $100? Yeah.
Wow, really? That surprises me, but.
So I don't know if everybody is just so focused on either typewriters that are the bright colors or on Hermes.
Yeah, pink and red typewriters.
Yeah.
Hermes.
But yeah, I haven't received it yet. So, I'm kind of wondering, okay, well, why were people not bidding on this? Was there something in the pictures that I missed?
Get your Skywriters while you can.
I know, yeah. And there was another one I bid on. I think I was outbid on that one actually. But also it went for well under $100. I think it went for like 68 or something like that. I'm like, really? And it's exciting because this has been a typewriter that's been on my wish list since I first used one at our local typewriter club. With Bob Marshall. It was his, and he let me use it. And I was like, ooh, this feels nice.
So you getting a long handle one or a short handle?
Like the carriage return?
Yeah.
Short handle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that a bad thing?
Well, I prefer the long handle, but you can actually swap them out. They're drop-in replacement. If you find like an old beat up old Corsair or like one of the blue shelled plastic machines.
Yeah.
You can actually steal the carriage handle on that.
Oh,
put it right on your one screw replacement.
Yeah.
I see.
I don't know. There's something cute about those the little baby carriage return levers.
Yeah, I have one. Cute, but I mean, you really want to. If you want to shift, you want to.
I know, yeah.
Slap that thing around.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I see the Olympia SF that Gregory has behind him.
Yeah.
It has the longer carriage return handle, which is not like the one I have. So I would like to switch my little handle out for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically you get the little handle when you have a shell type cover that goes over it, like a hard shell, and you get the longer one when you get the leatherette case with the zipper.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah, well, that explains.
But they are interchangeable.
I just saw one this morning on Craigslist for pretty cheap around, about an hour and a half drive from here. So I might check it out. It's kind of a beater though, but I think it was $50 they wanted for it. So it's not too bad.
I saw one here on offer up for, sorry, dogs are going crazy. On offer up for $20, and I was like, I hate Skywriters. Should I get it anyway? And I posted that on Facebook. And the next thing I know, somebody like, I think it was Megan Seata was like, oh, I think Patrick Revere is going to get that. And I'm like, what? So I'm messaging him going, what's going on with that? I was going to get it from my friend Allison. And he's like, oh, it's a $20 Skywriter. And he ended up picking it up and then dropping it off at my house for me to send to my friend. And he didn't even want the $20. And so I'm going to send it to her.
Wow.
And it's one of the metal ones. So I know that was so sweet. And he also took another one. I was like, okay, I'll trade you for a typewriter that's half taken apart that I have really bad associations with. So he took that one off my hands and dropped off the Skywriter. But Gregory, when I heard you say that you won one, I know we always say that, and I said that, I don't know, a while ago about a typewriter auction, and I was like, I won that one, and my wife was like, you still have to pay for it, right? It's like, we won it, but we didn't exactly win it. Like those details, yeah, but I won the auction.
It's a prize.
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to send it to you.
Yeah. So, yeah, very pleased about that. But I don't know if anybody else has noticed that or noticed it on other typewriters, maybe that are not going as much as they were there for a little while. But yeah, those Hermes, oh my goodness, they just keep going up.
Yeah, Hermes and Olympia typewriters I've noticed.
Olympia also, yes.
On eBay and on Facebook Market, the prices are just going up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
And a lot of people post things which they don't even know what they have. And
yeah, that's true.
I mean, if Skywriters are worth $100, I mean, what's a Hermes worth now?
Yeah.
So my Hermes 3000, I got it on Shop Goodwill, and it came with a Hermes cover too, and I got mine for $160.
Wow.
So I don't know if it was maybe just the time that the auction was over or something like that.
Wow.
I'm looking at it now, March 7th.
Wow.
So last month.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, there's a local used bookstore downtown, and the guy sells typewriters, used typewriters, and right now he's got two Hermes 3000 there. They sort of like the bulbous body, like the one Ted Monk has on his thing, on his picture, on his, and I think he's asking for one, he's asking $490, and for the other one, he's asking for $450, and he's like, firm, that's the price. Take it or leave it.
He'll get that eventually.
I think
leave it
in a place like Ann Arbor, he just has to hold out for a few days. He has to get rid of folks like me who are trying to bargain it down, and then he'll just find some person to pay full his asking price for it, and he must have bought it for $25 off of someone somewhere.
Yeah. Now,
is it restored? I mean, does it have a new platen and all that? Or?
Not new platen, but he's cleaned it up and put a new ribbon and all that. It's somewhat restored, but it's not quite say, if I were to buy it, say, if I paid his price and bought it, I would have to ship it off to Charlie and have it completely take it apart, clean it and lube it and adjust it, and which will cost at least $150. So it would be $450 plus another $150 just to get it going.
Yeah.
Thank you for making a point of sort of the price of having somebody professionally clean and lube and, adjust everything. That makes me feel better about my birthday typewriter. Because it's,
Oh, look at the
if I add that into how it's coming, then I don't feel as strange about but I've never paid for anybody to do a professional thing. So which explains all my randomly functional typewriters.
Well, the thing is, I would have done it myself also if I could, but given my medical situation, I won't even be able to hold the brush and clean out the type slugs. So
why do you do that?
Yeah, well, life goes on. That's why I have friends like Charlie.
Oh, very good. I see May typing.
Yes, I'm trying to do the typing prompt.
Oh, good, good.
I did do my homework. So I thought I'd do a quick one. So I'll
yeah, definitely.
just before we sign off. If we're getting ready to sign off, I can write or read what I've typed.
No, you have time. Yeah, we're still going.
Doing it at 8 a.m. was doing at the last minute.
I know.
Well, if show and tell, I haven't gotten any new typewriters because I really don't need, you saw a couple weeks ago my typewriter unboxing, 3 typewriters, and I got 8 typewriters in 1 week.
Wow.
That seems like a good amount. One a day.
5 Royal Quiet Deluxes. 2 of them are right here. I love Royal Quiet Deluxes. And then a Smith Corona 12, Classic 12. A Smith Corona, you saw the busted one, the 4 series Sterling. And I got a typewriter just for the lid. Like I bought a Classic 12 and I just wanted this for my 6 CPI because it didn't come with one. So sometimes we buy typewriters just for one part, right?
Yeah.
So that was my latest acquisition, was a lid.
Nice lid, man.
But it's nice and white and bright, clean. I washed it. So my 6 CPI is complete and I'm really happy with it because, these are kind of rare. And these are the typewriters I'm going to be using for the rest of my life, right?
Oh.
So yeah, I'm going to mute and finish typing and then.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we will look forward to that. All right. Does it? Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
A question?
Yeah. What do you guys use for canned air? Do you just use the can of air, or does anyone have like any of the the rechargeable compressors?
I just use a shop compressor. But not everyone has a garage, so
yeah. I don't have.
Yeah, I'm in a tiny apartment in Brooklyn, so
I just use what I found at the hardware store. Actually, I can go grab it.
Yeah, I use a hair dryer with the nozzle and directed. It works pretty. If it has a cool setting, unless you want it to be warm to dry off washed typewriters. But a hair dryer it works in a pinch. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I've been using. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the non-flammable kind, but the flammable kind is usually cheaper.
May, can you do a video sometime of that hair dryer? That sounds really exciting.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Matthew, you could also there's a kit that I got that attaches to a vacuum cleaner. That it has a big thing and it goes down to a small tube and there's like a little brush and a little crevice tool and stuff. And it was like $13 or something. And if you use like a paintbrush in one hand and use a little vacuum thing in the other, that works pretty well also. Yeah. Like that combined with canned air works pretty well. I just got a little compressor.
Handheld compressors that are not too expensive. You don't want too strong of a compressor because you can sort of blow things off too.
Yeah,
think
that's
you
the
can.
hazard with using a vacuum too, when you hear the clink, 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 clink go up the tube.
It's
Oh,
in
there's a
there.
part.
That's what screening is
Oops.
for. Use a little screening.
Okay,
I
good
wonder if
idea.
a used airbrush setup would have I'm not
Oh,
familiar
yeah.
with them, but they're small and I would imagine fairly quiet. I don't know what kind of pressure output you would realize with one of those, but that might be an option.
Yeah, I'm not sure what force those use. I mean, it would certainly have to be significant, but yeah, I don't know. It'd probably be a safe one to use because it probably wouldn't blow off any springs or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the thought that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I
Welcome.
put them on a towel in a box too. That helps catch any little parts that might.
Oh, good idea. Good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, William?
Doing very well. How about yourself there?
Very good. Very good.
That's good. So I guess it's good morning to a few, good afternoon to most, and good evening to some.
Yes,
Good
yes.
afternoon.
Yeah, it's
Good
quite
day.
quite dark where Indra is.
Good day.
Yeah.
Covers us all.
May, happy belated birthday, by the way.
Say that again.
He said happy belated
yes,
birthday.
Yes, thank you. My birthday
Yes.
last week.
Happy belated birthday. Your birthday was on
Thank you.
April 8th, correct?
April 8th, yes, and this
Yeah.
is one of my
Yeah,
gifts.
I-
A lid.
Happy birthday, May.
Yeah,
happy
We both had birthdays last week. Carrie.
Yeah,
I had
happy
full
belated
intention of
birthday.
writing you a birthday card, but work gets so busy this
Thank you.
time of year.
I know
So-
exactly.
Happy
what you
22nd,
mean.
May.
I wish.
Oh, 23rd? Is it the 23rd? Sorry, May.
No, I'll be 50 next year. Oof, that's hard to say, but I'm
No.
proud of it. You know,
You don't have to lie
I've
about
been
being older, May.
for 49 years.
I'll be hitting the big 60 this month. So
Wow, congratulations. Nice.
that's my way of laughing.
Oh man. That's support.
Yeah.
So anything new in your world, William?
I had a very nice letter from Eric.
Ah, yeah.
Look at his last name now. The fella in Ontario. I don't know if he's there.
Is that Eric Tidd?
No, Mondor, something like that.
Oh, that's me. I'm not in Ontario. I'm in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's it. I wrote a letter to the fella in Ontario. Getting mixed up. Yeah. Okay, Eric, fair enough. Yes, thank you for your letter.
Random guy in
Awesome. Glad you got it.
Yeah, there's quite a few people on the list now. It's really growing.
It's growing.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to think of a different way to house it rather than just sending it through email. Yeah, I'm toying with a few ideas, but we'll see how that works out. But yeah, the list is getting pretty long now. Yeah. Also, one thing I've been meaning to do is most of the people have their birthdays listed, and I would at least on the website like to add a little calendar that has the birthdays there, so we know which birthdays are coming up, and because they're not in order by birth date in the list because it's alphabetized.
Alphabetical.
So it could be hard to see whose birthdays is next. So that might be a nice feature. But
A calendar. Maybe someone could type up a calendar and put on
there you. Hey, that's a job for Joe. I know he
Hey,
liked to. He did that calendar video.
Yeah. I'm turning my video off because I hear robots again, but I think if I turn off my video feed, there's less internet.
Oh,
bandwidth.
okay.
That way I can hear you guys.
Yeah. But we hear you fine. So
Yeah. I remember a couple, weeks ago, my feed went into some kind of alien robot mode. And it was kind of funny because
we had great fun with that. The robot voice. It was the Android version of May.
yeah, the aliens had taken over.
They always do.
Now, did you finish your typing prompt or not yet? In May?
No, not this
Not
one.
yet. No, not yet.
Oh, okay. And okay. Yeah, that's okay, William. We forgive you.
Next month sounds interesting, though. I mean, next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah.
What is next week's?
Oh, that's a good question.
For the record.
Yeah.
April 18th, first lines. With a typewriter in the passenger seat, I was on the road too.
Ah. Yes, yes.
And of course, I've done that before now.
There you go.
When I went out to visit my first father-in-law when he was still alive, Smith Corona Skywriter on the passenger seat, driving out. It's 14 hours driving time from home to where my father-in-law used to live, plus stops. Of course, when I was still in my 20s and how young and vibrant, I could do that in a day, not anymore.
Excellent. Well, we will look forward to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah. All right. Anyone else have anything they want to show or questions or any typewriters you received or are expecting?
This is one I'm just working on.
Excellent.
I don't know if we can. It's a Royal 10,
Imperial?
but it's not black. It's a Royal.
It is a Royal. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's a weird colored Royal.
That is.
Yeah, and that kind of attracted me to it because I didn't think that there were any sort of that color, but it's it turns out it's refurbished.
Ah.
It's got a refurbished sticker on the back.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wow.
So I think that's what happened. And, even some of the chrome parts are sort of painted silver, which I've kind of got off, and the glass was painted.
Ah.
I cleaned one of them off, and the other one is, I still got to do. So
okay.
Kind of
That's
interesting.
I have a Royal 10 and the glass was painted black, so maybe they painted them black sometimes too.
Huh.
Yeah. And I guess it's a factory job since it's got the decal over the new paint.
Yeah. Yeah.
The paint's kind of fragile.
Well,
'Cause I got an antique.
dealers would do refurbishments too. So they were able to get the slide stickers to put the stickers back on. So it could have been done by some, Joe local typewriter shop in, Wisconsin somewhere.
Sure. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a factory refurb.
Why
Factory
would they
refurb would be
paint
better.
the glass though? That's so weird.
They would put the thing in a spray bin and just spray the whole thing black.
But it was like the inside of the glass, not the outside.
Yeah,
Get the Earl Shibes.
Yeah, the Earl Shibes of the typewriter world. I've got a Underwood 5 that has kind of the same treatment. It was rebuilt in the 40s, and the guy that did it spray painted most of it black with like runs down the side.
Yeah.
And spray painted the front and the paper table green, which I like it as a color combination, but he did a terrible job. But that's that's what they did back then. Is you'd take if you wanted a cheap typewriter, you'd go and get a rebuilt from either a dealer or for your local shop. So.
Well, apparently that was a huge business, the refurb typewriters, and it was very shady too. There was a real gray market in refurb typewriters, and somebody posted a really interesting story on refurb typewriters. I can't remember whose blog it was here, like a month or 2 months ago, talking about that shady sort of thing where that was really the development of sort of the middle market for typewriters when they cost $1,000, $1,200. Today's money new, people couldn't spend that kind of money to get a typewriter. So refurb typewriters were a thing, and there was a black gray market.
Will Davis.
Yeah. Very interesting story to read.
Wow.
Hey, Ted, earlier when I know I joined late today, but when I first signed on, you had a different typewriter sitting out. And
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if you had discussed it at all on the video, if I were to go back and watch, or.
Yeah, I did discuss
It's the
it.
German
Royal
made,
Administrator.
and it was made in Germany, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a blog, I think it's called Mild Typewriter, and I can't remember what her name is, the gal that has that blog, but she had written about that machine, that I had read about it, and it's such an interesting aesthetic, that design.
Oh yeah,
so
it's an interesting design. It's a great design for like actually working on. Like every single adjustment is a screw and a lock nut. So I mean, it's very, very precise.
Okay, I'll definitely go back and rewatch part of today's meeting then.
Like a boss.
It's a good looking machine too. It's very handsome.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Very nice.
I'm looking for that blog.
I got a cute little sticker.
Oh, let's take a look here. Let me zoom in. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Stick that on.
How's it, Sean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Is that a water slide?
No, it's a vinyl, so it's a heavier
okay.
duty vinyl.
So cool.
I wanted to get them smaller and make it like a dealer sticker, but they came much bigger. But whatever, they're okay.
One on screen. My latest acquisition.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Woodward's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wooden Steno. It was a rebranded Imperial Good Companion 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So would that have been a competitor to the chain brand that Curry was showing earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Eaton's and the Hudson's Bay Company, Woodward's. Yeah.
They're all rebranded typewriters, stuff like that. Of course, Sears sold lots of typewriters from all manufacturers.
Sure.
Excellent.
No, I did. Yeah. So, Matthew, how are you today? Your face I don't recognize.
Hello, I'm new.
Yes, I figured so. Matthew Chavan.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And where do you hail from?
I live in New York City.
Oh,
Brooklyn.
cool. Right on. The Big Apple.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, glad you could join us. And yeah, I was kind of.
I've been collecting since September, and I told the story at the beginning, but my first typewriter I actually found in the garbage as I was on a walk around the neighborhood, and someone had taken it out. And up here, it's always kind of one of those things of, do I really want to look through this and see what's in there, or do I just want to leave it alone? But the box that the typewriter was in looked like it was in I mean, almost pristine condition. And so I took the chance and opened it up and found a 1957 Remington letter writer inside.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have 11 more.
There you go. It's catching, isn't it?
It's a terrible disease. You should have worn your mask.
Right?
Your collection literally started in the trash.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It's common.
That's amazing.
Well,
Not unsurprising.
Yeah.
You know what Bill Goth's company name is? Center for Typewritten Correspondence and Typewriter Reclamation.
Yeah.
You can live up to that, right on.
Yeah.
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 I was a little late joining this morning because my wife was reading the announcements in church, and so went there.
Yeah.
Very good sermon, interesting story, all about forgiveness.
Yeah.
However, we won't discuss politics or religion here.
We could discuss forgiveness over buying more typewriters, though.
There you go.
but I see no harm in sharing a bit of faith. Anyhow.
Yeah.
So,
excellent. Yeah. Mike D is hard at work there.
Yeah, this is. I saw young Lucas had a video on how to remove the carriage from these.
Oh, okay.
And this one, the ribbon vibrator is sluggish and there's a lot of crud behind it. And I couldn't figure out how to get to it. And I think if the carriage comes off, I might be able to get down in there. So that's my next project on this thing. I had to replace some rollers in the front, and so now at least it feeds paper, but it's got some other issues. I'm not really bonded with this machine yet, but it's it's something that
a little
something to play with.
project.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've really enjoyed Lucas's videos because he keeps the camera going through the hard part. It's not like, oh, and then you take this off and then you put the ball bearings in or whatever, and then a miracle happens and it's all done,
Yeah. He spends 5 minutes getting the bearings in the right place. I saw that one.
He shows you how difficult it might be and how he deals with it, and then he's like, oh geez, I enjoy that in a video, a little bit of reality and taking you through actual process, because sometimes it just looks too easy and you get in the middle of it and like, oh, this doesn't look like the video at all.
There was some editing there.
Yeah.
This is why my Smith Premier 3 is over at the local repair shop waiting for some time to take the carriage off, put in a new type bar, and then put the whole thing back on again. Because it literally has a type bar that was broken in half. I managed to source one, and it's like, darn it, I want it to work. I want it to work all the way.
Yeah. Wow. I see May again. Do you have your typing prompt?
You don't sound like robots anymore.
Oh, good.
Well, it's not a very good typing prompt because I'm typing it while I'm trying to listen. You can't really do both, but I'll read it.
Sure.
So it's on my large font typewriter.
Oh, nice.
6 CPI.
6 CPI bulletin. It's a treasure for sure. It was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. And I didn't even know what I was seeing at first. It was my 4th typewriter, a Smith Corona Silent Super in the pretty light green in a nice travel case. Yeah, whatever those are called, the hard brown
holiday case.
Travel case. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a large print machine. It set me on the path of searching for other non-common typefaces like the cursive and bolder shaded characters. It's been a fun adventure collecting a modest variety of typefaces, and I will certainly appreciate the larger ones later in life, as well as enjoy the whimsical cursive. Overall, though, the most beautiful typeface is the crisp, clean, easy to read Pica. And thank goodness, because it's probably the most common typeface today, right? And for good reasons, most importantly, to see exactly what we type.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you.
Oh yeah, very quick, last minute assignment. Sorry, I'll do better next time.
No, that was fine. That was
Hey,
fine.
you got it in.
Yeah.
The most beautiful typeface is the one we can read the easiest.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I would love to have one of those 6 CPI typewriters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man.
It's, you use a lot of paper for sure.
Yeah.
unless of course you use big pages.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ask Bob Marshall about that one.
12-inch wide. Yeah. I can get the larger paper for the 12-inch wide carriage.
11 by 17 paper or something.
Yep. Ask Bob Marshall about that one.
For sure.
Yeah, I love Bob's letters on the roll. That works out great.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I worked at a TV station in the news department, and reporters had these large type, I think they're Olympia SG3s or so, for feeding the teleprompter. So it was real big type, and they typed on these 5-part forms, you know, one would go to each anchor and one would go onto the teleprompter, which is a little camera thing, which they used back in those days.
Wow.
And, you know, so I've always liked to find one of those, but I doubt I
Oh,
will.
yeah. Wow. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I have one of those sitting at my collection point just south of the US border. Once the border opens and I've got my COVID shots, I'm going to go down and get it. It's been sitting there for almost a year now.
Oh my goodness.
SG3 with the 6 CPI type.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
They're definitely treasures. I guess I wonder what they were used for back in the day. You know, why? I guess for people maybe hard of, you know, with
one fairly common purpose was for typing out pages to be handed out in class in grade school. You type a page, run it through the Gestetner or the Xerox, that before Xerox machines, or the lithographs. So you could hand one out to each child, make it nice and easy to read.
Yeah, some of the typefaces are called Speechwriter. So, you know, writing lectures and speeches, of course.
Yeah, just what Mike was talking about.
Yeah,
So
some of them are called Bulletin font.
I think yours is Speechwriter.
Yes, it's called Speechwriter. Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
What I've got is Sightsaver.
Yeah.
So it's the thinner version. I like the Speechwriter better. It looks nice and blocky, really crisp. It's very bold.
Yeah.
I've got Sightsaver. I don't quite need it yet, but and it doesn't type as thankfully. I don't quite need it yet, but yeah, it's very, very large. And yeah, it's neat, but boy, that Speechwriter is, I think, the top of the big 6 CPIs.
Wow. About, I think it's as large as they get. I don't think there was anything larger than 6 CPI, was there?
I've seen 4 CPIs on some of the typeface lists, but I've never seen one in person or even online. I think
probably like for newsroom type stuff, you know, probably not common for home.
I made business cards with mine.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. Wow. Nice. Hey, make that bigger. Let's see it.
Yeah, let's see it again. There we go.
Speechwriter. Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good idea.
Excellent. That's a great use for it.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Well, we're right at about the 3.5 hour mark. Does anyone else have anything they want to share, or questions, or comments, suggestions, anything of that sort?
I got new ribbons.
You got new ribbons?
Yeah, they send them nice box. I show it to you.
Ooh.
Oh.
Is it wrong way? Or is it?
No,
that looks good.
We see it correct.
All right.
Fresh from Australia. Or no, that's
purple.
Purple.
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of them.
Wow. You bought them wholesale.
Some are like these.
Oh, okay. Blue brown.
Oh,
excellent.
Blue brown.
Yeah, that's an interesting combo.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah. So you haven't tried those yet, right?
Nah, only the purple one.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Oh, it looks great.
Now, is it like a dark purple, or what shade would you say it is?
No, the last. It's all right. I just put it in the machine and I just tried it, just a few lines, and I was curious how it would print. And it looks fun. Very nice.
Excellent. And it's nice and inky.
Yep, they all are. They're pretty good, but they were expensive because of Brexit. So I had to pay handling cost and tax extra. I didn't realize that, so they became twice as expensive as normal.
Oh my goodness. Woo.
English, but no more new type ribbons from England.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
At least you're stocked up on ribbon, though.
Yeah, plenty now.
Yeah. Excellent. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. All right. Anyone else before?
Yeah, I got a chance to chat with Dwayne Jensen.
Yeah.
When I was over there, and I told him about this. He's excited to join. I called him. Well, I texted him this morning, and he said he just got a second COVID shot, so he's going to be out for a few days. I said, yeah, that makes sense, sir. You know,
Yeah.
the second ones can really get you. I know mine really got me. Anyways, maybe next week or the following week we'll get Dwayne Jensen on, and we all know how verbal he is regarding typewriter repair or anything typewriter related.
We've all watched.
Awesome. I think that would be very exciting. Yeah, he.
Oh yeah.
And he's He's going to set up his camera so it just shows his hands and his bench, so that way we can see everything that he's doing. So he's really excited to. Anyways, we'll see how that goes, but. Yeah, hopefully we can get Dwayne on here soon enough. I know I'd be excited for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Me too.
Very cool.
Treasure.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
I applaud your lobbying efforts, Bob.
Yeah. I definitely
trying.
appreciate it.
Thanks. Again, I'm still kicking myself for not inviting myself over and ruining Monk's Sunday afternoon. Oh, I guess it would have been Monday. I'm sorry, Monday afternoon. Bill's like, yeah, he's just right down the street. You want his address? Go knock on his door. Oh, well, I don't know about all that, Bill, but thanks. But it's absolutely wonderful. I highly recommend visiting all these fine people if you all find yourself in the Southwest, in that regard. I couldn't have asked for a more inviting experience, but like I said, I'd really like to hang out. I'd really like to find a way to hang out with Monk for a whole day,
A West.
If he invites me over.
It could happen. It could happen. No, really, if you're down at Bill's, just have him call me and I'll come down there and
well, that's a good idea. And I thought about that, but you can imagine Bill had so much information. I literally recorded on audio everything that he was saying to me because it was so impactful, so true. And I made fun of it earlier before you jumped on. I love the way he just say, I'm not a collector. I go home at night. I just want to hike and date beautiful women. I don't want
lies.
Yeah. But look at this typewriter I got. Look at this other typewriter I got. Look at this typewriter I got. Crack me up. I was just dying laughing at how much he's not a typewriter collector, but how many wonderful machines he put in front of me.
Yeah, he's got some real nice machines for someone who doesn't collect typewriters.
Right.
And he's in a typewriter shop, and he's not selling those typewriters is the thing. That's why he's a collector, because he's like, oh, look at this. You can't have this.
Right.
Even though I'm a typewriter shop and I sell typewriters, you can't have this one.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Or this one, or this one.
It went on and on. Oh, and I've got some in the back. So what I did, Ted, I'll tell you, as I went through, he showed me his back two rooms, the two offices. So I went through and took pictures of every corner up and down. So that way, when I need a part, I can just call him and say, hey, the second room back, third shelf, or fourth row on the floor, grab that machine, take this part out of it. Here's $50. You kind of said he'll do anything for $50. And I thought, well, that's really affordable where I come from. So I'm really excited to use.
You'll probably know more about his part storage than he does.
Yeah, his information was amazing. I would love to. What I need to do is find a time, take a week off, and just go apprentice under him. Pay him a few dollars and just spend a week in a shop and see how it all works out. And I'd love to do that with any and every typewriter shop I could imagine, because there's just so much to learn. So much to learn. I come from the world of motorcycles, so my ways of doing it and my ways of looking at it are very different than the next guy. But anyways, it's wonderful to see all the differences and learn so much.
Wouldn't that be a good typewriter road trip vacation? Visit like a bunch of typewriters.
Oh yeah.
Places,
I'll bring my
museums and shops and
my producer.
You guys, I've decided I'm going to go out west and visit all.
Come out west.
All the best typewriter people. Ted and Joe and Bob and Sarah. Seem to be and Greg. You guys are all out in the West Coast.
Yeah, and Carrie's down there in San Diego.
I'd like to take a typewriter road trip vacation.
May. You can come visit me.
We'll go
Oh,
north first. Well, I'll pick you up and we'll go together.
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's
what
the
I'm
traveling
doing. Next time
typewriters
we
club.
have
Yeah,
Hermes,
that'd be a fun. We should get an RV so we can fill it up with typewriters.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
it's Alma and Louise, it's me and Diane.
Of course,
So you
we'll
leave
post
with-
pictures all along the way. We'll make a whole blog about it.
Make a
Well, you
documentary.
guys
the-
do that.
Yeah,
Leave the doc-
documentary.
Next time there's a Herman's, Gregory and I are going to jump in my excursion and we're going to cruise through the Midwest, picking up people as we go. And we're all going to end up at Herman's at the end of the trip. I can fit 9 other people in my excursion.
wow. That'd be nice.
Get ready, Monk. Pack a bag.
You know, do you know Phaedra? She has a bunch of typewriters still in LA that need to get to upstate New York. So
Oh, there you go.
she could use your help if you actually
Typewriter
do that.
Railroad.
The Underground Railroad. I
Yeah,
love that.
typewriter underground
Yeah.
railroad.
Yeah, Kerr, I got to get you on the podcast sometime. I love the Underground Typewriter Railroad. It's such a great idea, such great stories that go in there. It'd be a great story. I got to get you on sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. Thanks, Bob. I better get going. I'm supposed to have made
Yeah, me too.
breakfast.
I
a
got
while
to sign
ago.
off. Thank
All right. Well, there's a good point to say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Mhm.
for being here,
Oh my
everyone.
gosh.
Yep.
Always
Especially
Take
the
care,
new
everybody,
faces.
and
Thanks,
be
Gregory.
in touch.
You're
Well,
welcome.
later.
All right.
All right. We'll see you
Everybody.
next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next
Thank
time
you,
around.
Gregory.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm saving the chat.
Yay.
Thank you